wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The abolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody. It is a snowy Friday.
It has become snow-covered in Friday, my dudes.
School's on time, no delays.
Sorry, kids.
I actually got a text from the Roswell Independent School District Superintendent this morning saying school on regular schedule today.
It literally just started when I walked out the door this morning.
Yeah. And they
there was
said,
not a flake on the ground when I walked out the door. And since I've been in my car and at work, all this has fallen. We've become a wonderland of white here in Roswell.
Yeah, it's picked up a little bit here. So, and they said, according to what they're saying, we may get an inch out of all this.
Right. Now, I'll say this. It's that snow that accumulates, so it's real, like, big, thick, like, flaky snow. Doesn't mess with the roads.
Yeah, the roads were clear coming in.
It's not
wet.
icy. It's wet. It's wet snow.
With that being said,
boy, we're just burpy and some coffee and all kinds of things.
I drank water while you were talking, and someone went down the wrong pipe. So I was trying to do I was talking, so I was like, argh. But that being said, don't drive like an idiot out there either.
Don't do that when it's 90, okay?
You got to tell people because they keep doing it anyway.
Like, hey, is it snowing outside? Let's do 80.
Or
we're doing donuts.
Let's drive 2, put our flashers on, and just gum up the works. If you're that person, call in sick today, please. For the sake of all of us, call in sick. If you can't drive in snow, stay home. And it's not even that much snow.
No.
But those people lose their ever-loving mind when a drop of snow hits
Is that
the
a
ground.
flake of snow? Get to the store. Get everything they have. Get one of everything.
BMTP. That was the official mantra of snow in the D.C. area.
Bread, milk, toilet paper.
That's right. BMTP. That's all right. Well, happy Friday.
Beans, mayo, and toilet paper? This is a weird snowstorm for you, man. All right. Far be for me to judge how you like to see how long you make it. All right. Wait, I might make it. What? A quote I can't say on this show.
Actually, it stands for bingo.
Yeah. Bingo, musica.
Movies.
Yeah, bingo, movies, and
television.
Television and...
That's how I survive storms. We play bingo, we watch movies, and television.
And never mind what that last P stood for. That was for after hours, kids.
The P stands for perfection.
Ah, there it is.
You know what makes this Friday super sweet?
Does it start with an M?
It does. MCD, baby. Big thank you to McDonald's.
Yes.
As they do each and every Friday, provide us with delicious breakfast treats. You know what I forgot?
What's that?
The chocolate hummus and the pretzels again.
Doggone it.
I left it at the house.
Now we got something for Monday.
We'll do it Monday.
So now we've eaten yesterday thanks to the fine folks at okay, I should mention now, Valley Cafe.
Oh, by the way, the Valley Cafe burritos are delicious.
They're fantastic.
That was a carnivore special yesterday.
Now,
Big thank you to them.
not to be outdone by the fine folks at McDonald's with 3 locations here in Roswell, ready to serve you now.
The brand new South Main
That's
is now
right.
open.
That's right. I'm actually excited. I'm hoping the play place is open this weekend so I can take the kiddos.
All right, well, good.
Yeah, Rhiannon's really excited to try out the new place.
Nice. I haven't. Have you been in there yet?
I haven't been inside. I've gone through the
Okay.
drive-thru.
I just know if you had to gander at the play place and see what it looks like.
Go ahead and take the mic and go.
Do I get a little?
You got a bubble.
All right. Hold on. Go
I'm
ahead.
always that guy though. I have to. There it is. Achim. I always have to point it out to people. There we go. Yeah, it's nice and clear.
Good.
I think what we're trying to say is visit McDonald's with 3 locations here in Roswell. Download the app because trust me, that app is going to save you some money.
It is. It's perfect. And you get exclusive deals, items.
Dude, I
things
was
only app folks have.
I was in a pinch the other day. I was, we'll call it looking for lunch in all the wrong places. And I remembered, oh, wait a second, I've got points on the McDonald's app.
Nice.
So I enjoyed myself a nice filet of fish and a medium fries absolutely free.
Yeah.
Thanks to my kids.
McDonald's has a strong rewards game.
Dude. Oh, and right now, you earn double rewards points on the
Nice.
app. Yeah, so 2 times the points on the app.
So use the app, download it, start doing it, collecting
Every dollar you spend gets you points.
And I ain't gonna lie, if you got kids, every parent on the planet should be doing this. Because there's gonna be times when you got soccer practice or whatever coming up, and you got to hurry things, and then you go through the order through the app, and then you're using your points. Next thing you know, the kids are eating free.
Yep.
You know, and you're and you.
Not to mention the deals they have. I mean, it's phenomenal. So download the app. You are literally doing yourself a disservice if you don't have the McDonald's app on your phone.
Yeah, give it a try. Download it. It's free.
If my phone wasn't charging right now, I would pull my phone out and show you. I've got the McDonald's app on my main screen.
I have it on my phone.
It's almost like so. Grown-ups who are old enough to remember speed dial. There's 2 levels to stuff you keep on your phone. There's the stuff you keep on your main screen and the stuff you keep on your auxiliary, your menu screen.
Your less used
So
thing.
you use your more important things and your less important. So this is basically your speed dial up here, your main screen. So I always keep it on my speed dial.
I'm gonna Apple flex you again.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
For us Apple folks, we can categorize them. So I have I create my own little cell, and I keep my McDonald's app in there and all that.
I can do that too. I choose to not to.
Well,
Because it's an extra step I have to do.
but it
But if I
organizes
want
so much
something
better.
to be quick access, I can throw it on my main screen.
It's on my main
Apple
screen
Flex
too.
all you want. My Android does everything your phone does too. You and me are gonna fight in a field.
I
can
just
feel
did
it.
it to get him mad.
Me and you got this fight in the field energy going on right now. Every show goes through it. Like this is like the 4-year itch, man. Telling you, it's coming. It's coming. Me and you are gonna fight in the field.
And I use Apple Pay through the app. That's
right.
It's really handy.
I can use Google Pay. Thanks. And I just downloaded Cash App. You can use that too.
I can do that too, but Apple has a thing I don't need, so therefore I don't need to. It's there already for me.
I'm gonna go do country radio.
And that's why the show's called Mornings with Mike Winters, folks.
The Sean Smalls Show on brand.
Where they use less inferior products. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. Big thank you to McDonald's. Visit any of your locations here in town. They got you covered. They're also always hiring I'm telling you, the folks in the management team for the Snowburger family, a lot of them started right at the beginning with McDonald's, working the cash register or flipping burgers and cleaning up the lobby, things like that. Now they're part of his management team and everything else. So mchire.com is where you go for there. All right, let me give you the rundown for today's show. Here this hour, in just a few minutes, we're going to have Mayor Pro Tem, City Councilor Jason Perry join us, give us the recap of last night's City Council meeting. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington is going to drop by and visit, give us an update on what's happening through the Sheriff's Department. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we got Roswell Independent School District Superintendent Brian Luck rescheduled. He's going to join us here in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15 this morning, as the kids are in their final day of school today. That's right. So don't worry, just because you got to go to school today. You're about to go on spring break. One more day, you got this. And then you got a week of spring break. Teachers, you got it too. You can do this. We got you. But Brian's going to join us, give us an update on what's happening to the RISD here as they get ready into spring break. Don't forget, this time change weekend, spring forward this weekend, Saturday night into Sunday. Turn those clocks an hour ahead before you go to bed Saturday night. All right, it is 7:15. Let's take a look at that weather and see how much more of this snow is going to be hanging around. That's coming up next.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some snow showers will be possible this morning, but sunshine comes back this afternoon as low pressure clears out of our area. Pretty cool and breezy today. Our afternoon high only around 40. Clear and cold overnight. We'll drop into the upper teens and then a lot nicer over the weekend. Low 60s and sunny for Saturday. We're back to the low 70s and fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 24 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 81% with winds out of the north at 10 miles per hour. We do have a winter weather advisory that's going to remain in effect through 11 with this snow here. For today, we're looking at more of this snow, mainly before noon. This should be tapered off by lunchtime. High of 38 today, so not a lot of melting going on when this snow does stop. Winds will be out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour, 100% chance of precipitation because it is precipitating. And then they say snow accumulation around an inch for us today is what they're calling for. Tonight going to be a cold one, mostly clear with an overnight low of 16. Winds out of the northeast at around 5 miles per hour. And then the weekend just downright pleasant. Sunny, 63 for a high tomorrow. Winds will be a smidge breezy. South winds early 5 to 10, 10 to 15 for tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 24. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then we're back into the 70s, mid-70s Sunday. Sunny skies, high of 74. South winds 5 to 10 early, 10 to 15 for the afternoon. And then just looking at next week, through midweek, it's more warm weather on the way. 68 on Monday and sunny. 77 and sunny on Tuesday, 83 and sunny on Wednesday. They are saying maybe some rain chances Thursday with highs right around 70. So today's the cold day. Get through it, and then the spring lake temperatures return tomorrow, actually. So, all right, it is 7:17. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break here, and then we'll have Mayor Pro Tem City Councilor Jason Perry join us, and we'll get all the good, the bad, the ugly from last night's City Council meeting. Don't go away.
Celebrate spring break at the Spring River Zoo with one of their exciting day camps. Each day is a separate camp where children will enjoy animal-themed crafts and games, fun educational activities, a guided tour of the zoo, and amazing encounters with the animals for children aged 4 through 6. Events will take place March 14th and 15th from 8 a.m. till noon. For children aged 7 to 12, themed camps will take place March 16th, 17th, and 18th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call the Spring River Zoo at 575-624-6750 or visit roswellconnect.org for information and to reserve your ticket.
There are 3 key phrases that need to be spoken on a regular basis in a healthy marriage. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, for over 20 years, Julie and I have been sharing these 3 key phrases, and here they are. I love you, I'm sorry, and I forgive you.
Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ, God forgave you.
You know, it's so easy to expect others to love us, to say I'm sorry, and to forgive us. But you know, it's really a gift that we give each other. You know, the Bible teaches us we sow and we reap. Sow into your spouse, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. And then you'll reap a harvest in return. Someone has to start the process. Let that be you today so you can really enjoy your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
When it comes to the security of your home or business, you want a local company, one that has a personal investment right here in Southeast New Mexico. Zenith Security Services is your local Honeywell dealer. Zenith can handle all of your business and residential alarms, cameras, and IT services, as well as home theater installations, all from a local company. The Spring Starter Package is now available at Zenith Security Services for your home or business. Call the real Zenith Security Services today, 575-626-3521. Zenith Security Services, protection quality with a local touch.
When you think of home health care here in Roswell, what's the first thing that pops into your head? That's right, Frontier Medical. We've been doing it better than anyone else for over 20 years. From in-home nursing to physical therapy and so much more. Doctors and hospitals from Albuquerque to Lubbock and everywhere in between have been trusting their patients to us here at Frontier Medical. So when it's time to make a choice, remember Frontier Medical. 575-627-1112. Frontier Medical. Name to remember.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Mayor Pro Tem, City Councilor, representing Ward 2. All of these things are still true. Jason Perry joining us here this morning. Morning, sir. How you doing today?
Well, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
It is. In March.
You know, have you ever with your kids or with youngins say, when I was a kid, we used to have this. We used to, I'm trying to teach my kids. They all say they're Southerners. We're all from Tennessee, and they all say they're Southerners. I started doing this thing called Southern Grub on Facebook. I said,
I've seen some of those.
If you're really Southerner, you're gonna eat like a Southerner.
Yeah.
You're gonna eat boiled peanuts and different. And
I remember. I think the one I saw was your boiled peanuts.
Boiled peanuts, pickled eggs, all the good stuff.
Did you do one on greens one time?
Oh yeah,
collards?
turnip greens.
I think I remember one about collard greens.
Mustard
too.
greens. Yeah. And so they all claim they're Southern, but I joke with them every once in a while. I said, when I was we always say, when I was a kid, we had this. I tell them because they don't really know a lot about it. When I was a kid, we had this thing called spring, and it was this thing between winter and summer.
It was a transition period for
we don't have that here.
We do. It's just like a day long.
Yeah, I was going to say 48 hours.
Right.
Enjoy.
So. It hasn't happened yet because that day that it comes is the day the trees turn green. And then the next day it's summer.
There you go. Exactly.
Well, for folks that aren't aware, last night the Roswell City Council met, and we yesterday, Jason and I kind of previewed it, and a lot of it was a lot of road work stuff, a lot of changing an ordinance here to allow this to happen. So last night is one of those that, although it wasn't like the controversial, sexy issues, it was all kind of the minutia of running government that needs to be done.
We had one or two of those issues come up that I wasn't expecting necessarily to be those kind of issues, but for the most of it, it was those things that you do to maintain. Your neighbors don't see it every day when you put that new roof on your house, or you paint your house, or you have the plumber over, or you have somebody cleaning the carpets. They don't see it,
right?
But you know what's going on.
Absolutely.
And I had to have those things done.
And people won't care until they turn on their flush their toilet, or turn on their spigot, and it doesn't do what it's supposed to, and then they care all of a sudden.
And yes,
which understandable.
We lived in Jimenez, Chihuahua, Mexico for a number of years, and then that literally was the way it was. And in Jimenez, there were times where there was no power. And when there was no power in Jimenez, there was no water because you had to there wasn't pressure in the water.
And the pumps were electric.
So you had to have a pump to get it up on top of your roof, and then gravity fed the water into the house. So
gotcha.
You learn real quick to be thankful for flushing toilets and
absolutely. Yeah. Your perspective changes a little bit.
You
on
better
those
believe
things.
it does. Yes, sir.
So last night was a lot of making sure that those kind of things keep working for everybody.
It was. We started the meeting last night, and I just want to say this because most kids are getting ready for school right now, but if any are listening, to show that they can do it. Dontrell Moore was with us last night.
Dontrell Moore,
a hometown hero, if you would say.
And if I remember right, he's like one of the voices for the Lobos football team now.
He just does everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. He really was an amazing person to meet. And as we were going through, as I was reading the proclamation last night, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a sports guy. I think you can look at me and know I'm not a sports guy. I'm more of an eating guy.
I'm all about eating. I'm on team eating too.
But this guy has just done everything. He has so many records with UNM and just
Roswell High and
Oh man, it was just unbelievable. So we had a proclamation for him last night, and the chief of police. Chief Smith was very gracious to send some officers down. His mother, Angela, lives down at the base area, and she's one of our city councilors.
Yes, she is.
And so they sent some officers down and gave a police escort
Oh,
all
how
the way
nice.
from the house up to the convention
Made sure
center.
Mom got here safely and
Yes,
took
sir.
care of, so we can be a part of her son's proclamation.
And just the most impressive thing for me was as we were honoring him and talked about the great accomplishments that he has achieved. The whole time he just wanted to talk about how blessed he was to have a godly mother, and how blessed he was to have a heavenly Father who's protected him, and that humbleness is not something you know a whole lot of anymore in life.
Sure, and I'm sure Mom was just sitting there proud just of her son, just saying, and by the way, you did a good job, Mom. Look what happened there. That's awesome.
Well, but what a blessing! and then one of the pastors from here in town that had part of his life, and his wife came up and just shared, about that godly heritage that he had, and it was just a really, for last council meeting, as a council's about to turn to another council, it was good to just take a moment and not have those nervous jitters about we got to vote on this and we got to argue about that, and just say, you know what, let's just take a moment, let's just unite, and let's just recognize the accomplishments of someone in Roswell.
And I think it also reminds us of why everybody's up there doing it, because when you look at those stories and you look at that, at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do is create lives where all of our Roswellians, New Mexicans can achieve those kind of things and live the kind of things that they want to do. So I think hopefully, the city councilors sitting there, say, hey, they're about to debate things, but to look and say, we got to remember, this is why
this is what it's about.
This is why we're here doing what we're doing.
This young man grew up here, and because other councilors in the past cared enough to make things work and function in the city, we had a young man who was able to live here, and the teachers, the educators, they were all part of his life, and it was just a great time. So that's how we started things off last night, and then we moved on down through the agenda and got into the really exciting things.
But deep on your edge of your seat type deals.
I think I shared with you yesterday that we were going to be holding the public hearing to adopt the ordinance which changes the railroad district to allow for parking to be done differently for those kind of things, and that went very well.
Good deal.
I think we recognize that you can't expect growth in certain areas if you don't recognize that there some things are not. It's not everything's not cookie cutter.
Sure,
it's not cookie cutter. You can't have the Walmart parking lot in the middle of downtown.
Right.
For the merchants. It's just not feasible. It's just not going to work. So we got through that, and then we got into all the projects, and it was a lot of money that we dealt with last night, but it's for great reasons. We've got that water line expansion that is going across the airport over to the other side, and what that's going to allow for is future development if future council decides to try to expand and putting infrastructure down the east side or even the southeast side, as some would like to see happen. That project has started. We're going to have that water line that's going to go over there to an existing property that has existing tenants right now. That's going to help to ensure they're not going to have those water problems. But then also it's going to help the county because there are actually residents just on the other side of what was that, Wild Crossing?
Yeah, it gets a little, the county, city jurisdictions get a little crossed sometimes over there.
But over there are some county folks that are that are not on city water, they're on well water. And eventually they may have trouble. That's a base. It was, we don't know everything that's out there.
Sure.
So this is going to ensure that so actually residents are going to benefit from that as well to be able to ensure.
So if their well's dry up and everything, now they know you don't have to dig a new well.
You can pop onto
you can get on city water, which,
yes,
depending when, hopefully that never happens to, but if it does, that now you get to at least balance the cost difference, which is more beneficial for you to dig a new well or to be able to pop onto the
and
city
will
system.
and will help with fire hydrant, that kind of stuff that's just going to be beneficial. It's
emergency
a large
services, giving them more resources in that area too.
All of those things. So
and that's and here's the thing, we always talk about. I think we as a community want growth. One of the most exciting when we talk city is when people hear about new businesses or new entities coming to Roswell. That's always the scuttlebutt fun talk that everybody loves, and because you always want to see new things and have new opportunities in your community. But all before that kind of stuff happens, the city has to make sure the infrastructure's there to do it.
None of it works there again if the toilet doesn't flush.
Exactly. So
If
some
the gas
of the work
isn't
we're
on.
talking about here is to allow those kind of things to happen. Whatever, so in 20 years they decide, we're going to put a major hub of something down here. Now they're locked in and ready to do
And there
that.
is that philosophical difference that I think that we're going to have to wait till the next council gets on to sort of get our pulse on, a finger on the pulse to see which way we're going, because though we need that infrastructure, though the master plan shows, yes, infrastructure down through here for future development could be good. There's also the thing that we have to recognize is we have current infrastructure that needs to be replaced as well.
Sure.
We have current tenants right now in buildings, and we have areas that need to be rehabbed and refurbished on this site as well. So we've got to.
But I'm guessing, too, you're also weighing, like, okay, when we got to rehab these, do we need to upgrade it to something to handle a bigger volume because we anticipate? So when you guys are doing that repair and replace type mentality, you're like, okay, is this something we just repair, or do we upgrade it to meet needs longer in the future? Which is the better option at this point? And that's the kind of stuff you're weighing.
And when you're replacing, sometimes you're not replacing with the same product, oftentimes. And not only that, you choose, well, now before they didn't use the system of a pump right here or, for pressure and different things. Yeah, so you have to. You might as well just be saying infrastructure has never been here before. Really,
Right.
Infrastructure has never been here before. How do we do this?
Start over, basically. Okay.
But the city is blessed with very, very apt, very good employees who know what they're doing.
Our engineering staff and all of them are very, very good at what they do.
We're very blessed here in Roswell, and I don't think a lot of people really understand that. But I remember one time I went out not long ago and I toured the wastewater treatment plant. I'd never been out, and I thought, well, that's really the last thing that I might as well go see where it all goes. Where
see where it ends up.
And I spent probably 3 hours out there, so I was blown away. But I couldn't sleep for about 3 nights because all it takes is just one thing to go wrong, and it's backing up.
It's a dance, and one out of step move, and it gums up the works.
And I have a newfound respect for those guys out there, because it is a science. It's amazing what they do out there, and it's just amazing.
Sure.
But we've been blessed. But anyway, the last night's meeting went just fine. We spent a good bit of money on roads and on construction, different things. We're going to be working on, like I said, from McGaffey all the way up to College up here. Going to be doing some Nova chip, and that will be taking a small portion off at the top and then putting a new layer down.
Okay.
Right now, you see them working out there. They're filling cracks, I called.
So is this like a same level as a chip seal, or is this a deeper level than a chip seal? Or
I am not an engineer. Ask me something about the book of Hezekiah in the Bible, and you and I got a really great conversation.
Okay, I just didn't know, because I know there's different, based on needs and repairs. I know chip seal versus these other. I didn't know if they were the same one's a little different.
Right now, they're going across Main Street, and they're sealing the cracks. They're filling the cracks. And I thought, why are they filling the cracks? They're about to cut all that open. Well, because the cracks are more than an inch deep, so they're pouring that in, so that when they do come to cut that inch, 2 inches, whatever that is, I believe it's an inch off of the top of the surface, they're not going to tear up what's underneath it.
Gotcha.
And then they're actually finding some of the asphalt that has failed, and they're cutting it out completely.
So it's almost like surgical more than construction.
They're picking where those places that need to be removed and repaired, and
I imagine at the end of the day, because of technology and stuff, they can do this a lot more efficiently and cheaper. Whereas 20 years ago, they probably would have tore the whole thing up and started over again. Where now they can be a little more surgical with it.
Technology has just come a long way.
Yeah.
It really has. It's amazing. So we went through that. So it's exciting. Counselor Roebuck brought to us an idea, and I was trying to look for it here on my agenda, but there's just too much that we went through last night. I know what it is. We had the state of New Mexico. There was, I can't share a lot of information because of disclosure and different things, but the state of New Mexico had accidentally, or for whatever reason, forgot to give us some some taxes.
Whoops.
Some time ago, and that's
we just found these on the couch, and we're like, oh, we're supposed to give these out.
And I'm not trying to imply that everything's crooked and wicked, and and that we're not getting. I don't, but it is weird in New Mexico. We don't have the ability of knowing. Really, every month we get our check.
Sure,
we get our check from the state. Says here's your gross receipts, taxes,
and you have no idea how they calculate those numbers.
Have no idea.
They just say here's what it is.
No ability to find out.
Yeah.
And so I think there was enough suspicion from a few cities, and they looked into it, and they were able to prove, hey, we know that we were over. So once they looked at all of that, there was within the settling, there was not quite 1.75 million or so. Councilor Roebuck said, hey, that's money we were not expecting.
Sure.
That was money. He says, the voters want roads. I want roads. Let's quit tearing everyone's cars up. Let's put it into roads. So we added already, we've put over 12 million into roads. Let's put another 1.78.
Okay. So that's going to allow a little bit more to get
done. That's going to get more done.
Good.
So working through all of that, and
hopefully maybe they'll find some more money a little later on, or we can get check under the armchair or something.
Exactly. There were two addendums last night, and I'll share with you on those. One of them is finally the Enchanted Hills will finally be completely completed. I don't know when that project was started. I'm going to assume the early 70s. I don't know, but
you mean it's not done yet?
Well, you keep expanding with your land.
Sure.
But a gentleman had 2 lots that were able to cut into 10 lots.
Okay.
So now he's going to be able to provide for housing.
So a little bit more housing in that area.
That worked very well. And then the last one for the night that really brought the I won't say the fireworks, because I think the council did very well. There were a few of those moments where you thought, okay, the wheels are about to come off.
Gotcha.
But councilors took a deep breath and remembered each of us have our own opinion. Each of us have our own way, our philosophy of thinking about it, and tried to bring that respect back to the table.
Good.
And so I'm proud that the council did that. But what that is funding $75,000 for what they're calling the Rocket Public Art.
Yes,
and that's it.
We talked about that yesterday a little bit. Yeah.
And that's the old slide from Peppermint Park. And there's a local artist by the name of Josh Berry. I don't know Josh, but he was there last night, and he did a great job explaining what he had to offer. We had a prototype, or whatever you want to say, to look at.
Yeah.
And it looks sort of to me, and you're going to know the word, and I'm not going to know what it is, but like when I've been to some of the Cosmocons and stuff, these people who dress up and they've got the gears on their hats and stuff.
The steampunk.
What is it called?
That's called steampunk. And
I'll trust you on that.
Yep. Do you remember a movie it was either the 90s or early 2000s called Wild Wild West with Will Smith? And it took place in the 1800s. And Kevin Kline plays Ulysses S. Grant. And
really?
Anyway, it's a futuristic Old West scene where basically set in the Old West, but they have like these robots that are running on gears and steam, and think of Jules Verne. Jules Verne, you know that style.
Who is Jules Verne?
Okay, I didn't know if you knew. I didn't know if you knew like those type of.
Well, when I just remember seeing some folks out there with those gears and different things, and it reminded me. It just looks like something that maybe would fit with some of that. You would be really bored around me. With my wife, I drive her crazy because when movie night for me is pulling up something from the 1930s, the 1940s.
Okay,
I'm a really boring person. I really am.
Nothing wrong. You like what you like, and that's and I get that. But it's kind of like if we had modern technology things in the 1800s,
that's what it would be.
That would be kind of like
that's sort of what this rocket's going to look like.
Okay,
it's not going to be that squared off, just that very basic. It's going to have the colors seem, they're just a little bit different.
It gives an artistic flair.
It's an artistic flair,
yeah.
and he did it. I have to say this for him, kudos. He made a great design. The concern last night that came up was, and I have to recognize that, each counselor we don't all have the same information, and I don't mean that we don't get the same information, but, one may have a better relationship with this person or with someone in the community or something. So we gather our information differently.
Sure, your relationships are different, so you get different information.
And which makes us have different perspectives on how things are coming about. So with the rocket art, I think there were some that were scratching their heads wondering, why is this coming to us right before we're about to change the government? Because this has been around for several years, trying to figure out what we were going to do with this thing. And I think there were some that were just ready, gung-ho. You know what? We're tired. It's been a long time. This thing is sitting out in the field. It's rusting away.
Yeah.
If we're going to save this thing, we got to do it. And then there were others that say, we still don't have a complete picture, because we did vote to have for this rocket to be built, but we still don't know where it's going to be.
I'm just curious if it was if the people that were more for it, more pro, wanting to get it done now, were the folks that maybe lived, born, raised, and grew up here, and the people that maybe are new to this area or maybe didn't grow up here as children aren't as exciting about needing to get this done now. I'm just curious.
And,
I think there's a lot of sentimental in this one.
As I'm trying to look through the votes as how they went last night, and I think there may be some of that. I don't know for sure. For me, let me tell you how I voted, so everybody understands. For me, I said, hey, I recognize that things like this do bring people. It makes them stop. I told the story that just the other day, I had to drive. I was in Lubbock, and I had to go to Melrose, New Mexico, for a ball game. My daughter was playing in state quarterfinals for Gateway, and I went through Muleshoe, Texas. Never been to Muleshoe, Texas in my life, but I went through Muleshoe, and I saw these cars pulled over on the side of the road, and they were taking pictures. And I thought, what could there be to take pictures of in Muleshoe, Texas? And there's this mule, a statue of a mule, sitting on top of this platform. And people out there taking their picture with this mule, and I couldn't help but just laugh. I thought, my goodness, out of anything, stop and take a picture. You're going to take a picture with this mule. Well, I get it. I may not stop and take a picture with that mule. Sure. I may not stop and take a picture with that rocket. But every day I see people with this alien at Baskin-Robbins, or I see people out. I travel to Artesia back and forth a lot. So our welcome sign, I see people out there all the time, and those are going across the world on social media.
Yeah.
I get that. My thing was we don't know where we're going to put it yet, and that does determine part of your cost. Is there concrete there? We're going to have to tear out concrete in order to put a better base in. How are we going to get the electricity there for it? Because it's going to have the neon type lights and stuff, and how we and those answers weren't available because we just haven't decided yet. And I just said last night, I said, if I talked to a contractor and he said I could build you a beautiful $500,000 house, it would be beautiful, and I'd say, wonderful. Where are we going to put it? And he says, well, I really don't know. We'll figure that out later. Well, no, we don't figure it out later.
Because it may cost more than $500,000 depending on where you put this.
Or I may not want that house where you're going to put it.
Sure.
So I had to pull back and refrain some. I did make a motion to try to send this to a committee to make those decisions, then bring it all back. But in the end, the council was very, I think everybody was pretty set in place, whether you were for or against.
They weren't ready to move on.
I don't think I heard one person say, I hate this art. Throw that piece, go send it to scrap metal and let's make some money off of it. I don't think I heard one person say that.
Sure.
But I did hear some say, we just don't have all the information we need. And
I get that. It's like we all want this thing, or we want something that Roswell's proud of. Sure, but maybe we should do the research and put it in a place where it gets the most bang for our buck, versus just sticking it someplace that may or may not be beneficial to the community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it worked out well at the end of after everything was done. We did have one of the incoming counselors, Mr. Korn, who spoke against the project and just talked about several things concerning it. But once everything was done and we voted, the council voted in favor. I think there were three of us. I think there were three that voted against, and I don't think any of the three of us were anti putting up a rocket. It was, we don't have all the information. This is a lot of money to put into something that that I don't.
You're not against the project. You're against haphazardly doing this project.
That's right. And I can't say we're haphazard necessarily, but in my mind, the way I think I need to have the
Yeah,
information.
you want, it's still missing some parts, and you want like what you're promising. You really can't promise because there's variables in this equation that are missing. Sir. And you've been around long enough to know that, and so what you're afraid is going to happen is they're going to be like, okay, we got our spot, but it's not going to cost $700,000. Right. You know, like whoa.
So we talked about all of that, and we got all that done, and then we talked about future agenda items, and I did bring one thing up that I'm going to be bringing to the table hopefully soon. A number of years ago, I proposed the sexually oriented business ordinance, and what it did is just it doesn't. You can't legally say you can't have gentlemen's clubs. They say that's a freedom of speech and all this other thing to be able to have that. But you can regulate by zoning to ensure that if they are coming, they're going to be here. They're going to be in this place of town. They're not going to be right on Main Street or right next to the First Baptist Church or whatever,
right?
Or next to Washington Elementary School.
You don't want families, living their lives and having to hang out next to one of these places.
We were very, very successful with that, and we've been blessed with things going well with that. Now, I'm not trying to be the conscience of the council, but human trafficking is a real thing, and we're starting to learn that within a lot. And I'm not saying all, but I'm saying within the world of massage parlors, there is a significant amount, as I'm learning, of human trafficking.
It's a weak spot in that system.
Weak spot. So. I think the part of our job as counselors is to protect, through health, safety, and welfare. So I have found a county in Pennsylvania that has been successful with regulating massage parlors, and so I'm taking some of that. We're looking at state statute now.
Okay.
We're looking at what are our limits within state statute, what are our limits within the Constitution, these things, but at the same time be able to adequately, and some of those things may be like time, place, and manner. If my shoulders are hurting, do I really get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go get a massage? And we're going to leave it right there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So maybe they need to close at 6 o'clock.
I'm sure there's not an emergency massage situation at 0200.
Exactly. But we're going to try. I shouldn't say we. I at this point am trying, and I'm hoping that with the new council that I'll be able to persuade and show them that we need that there's more than swimming pools, and there's more than cutting the grass at City Hall, and there's more than that. There's policy.
Well, and it's kind of like getting back to this cannabis ordinance that now that we're I guess here in April, it's coming up. It's going to be recreational here, and this is something the city council, all city councils and county commissions and municipalities across the state are really dealing with right now, and some of this falls in that same vein here, and so
you have to get creative. You have to, you have to get creative. And Roswell has been creative even with it. We're not saying you can't have that stuff in town, but we've been creative in how we deal with it, in order to try to protect the citizens as best we can. So we went through that last night, and then at the very end of the meeting, we gave the accolades of the counselors that are going to be leaving, and our kudos and our thanks and appreciation. And,
did any of them say, like, good luck, suckers, or walk right out?
Counselor Lopez, when he finished, he said, he said, I'm going to be short because I'm hungry. And he talked, and it was good to hear his perspective. Not been on the council that long, but I'm going to tell you, someone who was willing to step up to the plate. And when he was finished, he said, so that's all I have to say. So over and out, and pushed his microphone off. And then I think Counselor Kennard spoke as well, and it was touching and moving to hear what she had to say. And she gave some good, kind words about Judge Loy, who'd passed away, and so we talked about that, and then as I'm trying to go through the list, and then Counselor Roebuck, and we talked a little bit, and he had some very kind words to say, and then I think the focal almost became from all of the counselors on Counselor Stubbs.
Yeah,
she's given 20 years.
She spent a lot of time in those chairs,
and we've got a gentleman coming in that I believe is apt. I believe he's going to be ready on day one to really get in there and work.
Sure.
And we welcome him. We're ready to welcome.
At the end of the day, his goals are the same. He wants the best for. He
wants the best for
this city,
community.
just like Judy does.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
But boy, when you've had someone like Judy for so long, you're like, how are we going to do this? You know,
you missed that experience in the room.
You missed that experience in the room.
I get that.
But many people said, and I agree. I don't think I don't think any of these counselors are gone. Counselor Roebuck has a lot of passion for this city.
All of those city councilors love this city and will continue to fight for
Counselor Lopez, he has done so much already before he's counselor, and I look forward to seeing what he's going to do later. And Counselor Kennard is just so involved in so much in the community. And then Counselor Stubbs, I know that we're going to be able to pick up that phone and say, we've got an ordinance we need someone to look at. Could you help me?
She can be the adult in the room sometimes when you need it.
But it was a good time, and but I want to say, last but not least, with all of that, is it was a time to recognize Mayor
Dennis Kentai and his service to our community. Yep.
You know, this was a rough campaign to watch. It was rough to watch. It really was. But when everything is said and done, I just want everyone to know that that Mayor Kentai has made some significant contributions to this to this city. This city is a better place because of many of the things. The dilapidated structures that are gone, we'll never know the number of lives that were saved because of drugs that weren't able to be taken in these homes, or rapes that were taken in these dilapidated. These are the kind of things that happen in dilapidated structures. We don't know what times of life. We just don't know.
Sure.
And I get it. Maybe this is the pastor in me or something. I get it. The easier thing is to beat up on the things we disagree on. But, you know, every once in a while, take a little deep breath. It's all over now. We have a new mayor coming in. We have new counselors coming in. But I want to tell the folks, whether you voted for these folks or you didn't vote for these folks, when you see them in public, would you at least take a deep breath and look them in the eye and say thank you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Say thank you. You know,
I tried to make a point of that. Every candidate I interview when I came in here, I try to make a point and say, you know, win, lose, or draw, at the end of the day, you're doing this because you care about our community. And I, you know, thank you very much for that. I try to do that with every one of them.
My grandfather was in the Navy, and he told me, he says, if you think that every single person who signed up to be in the Navy or serve our country did everything right, and that, man, our country is 100% better because of everything they did, he said, you're crazy. He said, we almost died because of some knuckleheads doing crazy stuff on boats and stuff.
Yeah.
He said, but you still stop and you thank them. He says, because their willingness, he says, and it's a group effort. It's not an I, it's a we. And so please take the time. My life is better. It is. I have to say, my life is better, and I have a different perspective on things in life from serving for 8 years with Mayor Kentai.
Sure.
And
awesome.
And I will always be appreciative. He gave me the opportunity to serve in many capacities, that as chair of finance and different things.
Well, he saw where people's expertise was, and he saw where yours was, and he put you where he thought you could serve best this community.
Yeah. Now, we had our wrestling matches. Boy, did we ever.
But that's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Because if it all comes from a good place, then it's a good thing, I think.
And we have a new council coming on, and everybody's maybe scared of the what ifs, you know.
Fear is the biggest, or unknown is the biggest fear.
But like I said last night, Romans 13:1, God really is the one who determines these things. He's the one who's chosen and those authorities over us. And so we trust God, and we move on. Overall, last night was a very good evening, and we look forward to what we have in the future.
Absolutely. And I do want to mirror what Jason Perry's saying here. Thank you to each of those folks that called last night, their last city council meeting here. We do appreciate the mayor and these city councilors for their service, and like you said, their continued service. I had two each person. They're not done being involved with our community and doing things to help make it better, whether it's in an official elected capacity or just John Q. Public or Jane Q. Public. They're going to keep doing that.
That's right.
So thank you to them, and I wish nothing but good success and tidings for our new folks that come in. I hope you get in here and we can really get some good work done and continue to make this city a great city.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Well, thank you,
So
sir.
we'll keep going.
We'll keep going, and anytime, I don't know if you're going to continue as pro tem or what's going to happen there, but
I just hope they let me keep coming to the meetings.
I think they'll have a spot for you. And I bet if you ask nice and say, hey, give me a sandwich or something. I think you can work that ink. Just leave me a little something right here for me. Especially when it's these 4-hour job meetings. We need a little energy to keep going. But thank you very much for your service too. And I'm sure we'll have you on the radio here much more between now and then. And anytime, we love to have you.
All right, you want to go build a snowman?
Sure. Well, we might have enough now. I'm seeing enough on the building. We might at least maybe a 2-foot snowman, but we got one out there. So.
Stay warm. We'll see you later.
All right, take care. It is 7:55. Let's go ahead and get you into news and a quick break before, more news. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. Another round of COVID-19 at-home tests are scheduled to be given out to Artesia residents this weekend on Saturday at J.C. Park from 10 to noon. The Eddy County Office of Emergency Management will be handing out the at-home COVID tests at no cost to residents. If you'd like more information, call 628-5454. The city of Carlsbad has been named a Tree City USA by the Arbor Day Foundation in honor of its commitment to effective urban forest management. The city's tree board will hold a small ceremony at 4 p.m. Tuesday at the pickleball courts off Park Drive. The public is invited to attend. And the tennis and basketball courts at Cahoon Park will be closed in Roswell March 14th through 18th, while surface preparation takes place in anticipation of further renovation all week next week. You're up to date. That's a look at local headlines. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some snow showers will be possible this morning, but sunshine comes back this afternoon as low pressure clears out of our area. Pretty cool and breezy today. Our afternoon high only around 40. Clear and cold overnight. We'll drop into the upper teens and then a lot nicer over the weekend. Low 60s and sunny for Saturday. We're back to the low 70s and fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. We've got baseball action going on today in the form of the Southwest Classic hosted by Goddard High. This is a round-robin invitational. So, not everybody's playing everybody, and it's a different kind of format, but you're getting plenty of games. Each team will get in 3 games, it looks like. Roswell yesterday opened the tournament by beating Gallup 5-3. Roswell got its second victory of the season, and will take on Moriarty at 7 o'clock today. That's not the first time Moriarty will play today. They'll start the day by playing Goddard at 4 o'clock, so it's a doubleheader for Moriarty. Goddard still seeking its first victory, losing a couple of tough doubleheaders last Saturday to Farmington in Albuquerque. Actually, that was in Rio Rancho, and then the week before to Las Cruces. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Internal Revenue Service plans to hire 10,000 new workers to help reduce a massive backlog. The agency released a plan to work down the tens of millions of filings. That includes speeding up the slow hiring process, relying more on automation, and bringing on more contract workers to help with mailroom and paper processing. The agency faces a backlog of around 20 million pieces of correspondence. Western sanctions are dealing a severe blow to Russia's economy. The ruble is plunging, foreign businesses are fleeing, and sharply higher prices are in the offing. Beyond the short-term pain, Russia's economy will likely see a deepening of the stagnation that started to set in long before the invasion of Ukraine. But experts say a total collapse is unlikely. Despite the punishing financial sanctions, Russia has built an economy that's geared for conflict. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Roswell is our home. That's why we've all got to do our part to stop illegal dumping. Throwing your trash, clutter, or yard debris in the alleys, sidewalks, or streets is a crime, and it takes time and money to clean it up. Those caught dumping illegally can face fines of up to $500. You can help by taking your waste to the landfill once a month for free with a paid water bill. Call the City of Roswell Solid Waste Department for more information at 575-624-6746. Help keep Roswell clean. After all, do you want your kids to grow up in a dump?
your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And we're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News up next here. Stay tuned next hour, about 8:15 or so. Sheriff Mike Harrington will join us, give us an update on what's going on at the Sheriff's Department. And then don't forget, 9 o'clock hour, we'll have Brian Luck, Roswell Independent School District Superintendent, join us. All right, you're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Yesterday it was Poland. Today, Vice President Harris is in Romania, seeking to reassure allies in the region of ongoing U.S. support in the midst of the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
As a member of NATO, an attack against one is an attack against all.
The 40-mile Russian military convoy that was sitting on a road to Ukraine's capital is now on the move. Satellite images show it has been redeployed, fanning out across the countryside. Elsewhere, the central Ukrainian city of Dnipro hit by Russian airstrikes for the first time. The BBC's Sarah Rainsford is there.
The air raid sirens went off at 4:30 this morning and wailed for more than 3 hours. We now know the danger was real. Officials here say there were 3 airstrikes, hitting a small shoe factory, an apartment block and a kindergarten. 1 person was killed. This city is full of heavy industry, including a rocket factory. There is a metalworks nearby the site that was hit, but no obvious military targets.
At a time of raging inflation, the Senate has given final congressional approval to $1.5 trillion in additional spending.
The vote was 68-31, and the bill had its fair share of critics. Louisiana Republican John Kennedy lamenting that, quote, once again we're being asked to vote on legislation that we haven't had a reasonable opportunity to read. Many complained about the return of earmarks, something reversed by a Democrat-controlled Congress for the first time since a ban on pork barrel spending was passed back in 2011. The bill also includes nearly $14 billion in aid tied to Ukraine. Bob Agnew reporting.
The Kremlin accusing the U.S. of running chemical weapons and biolabs in Ukraine, a charge the Pentagon is dismissing as laughable. The UN Security Council will take it up at a meeting later today, the meeting requested by Russia. Wall Street, the Dow's up 154 points, the NASDAQ 37 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999.
U.S. and South Korean military officials say North Korea has tested parts of its biggest intercontinental ballistic missile in 2 recent launches, prompting speculation that Pyongyang will likely fire that weapon soon to put a spy satellite into orbit in what would be its most significant provocation in 5 years. A drone that apparently flew all the way from the Ukrainian war zone crashed overnight on the outskirts of the Croatian capital Zagreb, triggering a loud explosion but no injuries. Statement issued after Croatia's National Security Council meeting said the military aircraft entered Croatian airspace from neighboring Hungary at a speed of 430 miles per hour, an altitude of 4,300 feet. The council says an official criminal investigation will be launched and that NATO will be informed of the incident. The crash means that the large drone flew at least 350 miles, apparently undetected by air defenses. News and analysis at townhall.com. Virginia Democrat leaders urging Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin to declare a state of emergency, activating a law against price gouging.
The move comes as gas prices reach record highs following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The emergency declaration would activate the Virginia Post-Disaster Anti-Price Gouging Act, which is designed to stop suppliers from charging an unconscionable price for necessary goods and services, including gas and home heating fuel. The law gives the state attorney general the authority to investigate and prosecute businesses that overcharge. Youngkin's spokesperson called the call for a state of emergency a ploy by Democrats to deflect attention from their record of reducing American energy independence. Keith Peters reporting.
The birthplace of COVID-19 is struggling to contain a resurgence of the virus. China ordering the lockdown of 9 million residents of a city in the country's northeast. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number, and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce Boss.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy snowy Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Still snowing?
Yeah.
It's that little tiny flakes now.
It's them sideways snow drift. And it's coming, it's every time the wind blows.
It shifts it.
It kind of just, you see a little, like, especially just out here in the alley where, you know, it's obviously a wind tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
You just see little clouds pop up every now and again, little snow clouds. So either the wind is blowing the snow around or somebody's out there belly flopping in the snow.
Either way, I dig it.
Either way, a good time.
Good time is being had.
That's right.
So, and then I get, like, out my window, I got a couple of the little smoke trails. I don't know if it's from the, the heat exhaust or whatever it is, but, and then I see that come up every once in a while, and it kind of adds to the snow look. It looks, I don't know.
It's silly. It's a silly thing. Yeah. But when I leave my house in the morning, I look back, and I have this little smokestack on top of my house. Mm-hmm. Just, let's the heat out.
Yeah, a little vent.
A little vent. And I just see kind of the clouds just kind of poofing off of it or whatever. And I'm like, if I was in the Arctic, this is what I would see outside of my, my lean-to. Just little smoke, smoke puffs popping up. And it's like, for whatever reason, it makes me feel a little bit more rugged.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Or a little homey, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's that.
Yeah, a little,
Maybe it's the fact that I'm up before the sun and I get to see stuff like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
You feel like you're a pioneer.
At heart, I'm a farmer.
If it wasn't that whole farming thing, I'd be into it.
Right? Dude, that sounds like the life, man. Get to kick back sometimes.
Yeah.
Besides all the work.
You just watch Letterkenny and be like, you know what? I could do that.
Honestly, if I could just do the Letterkenny thing without all the choring that they ever show, yeah, I'd be down.
That's what I don't get. It's like they do a lot of choring, but they do a lot of not choring too.
She goes, hey. He goes, this is alfalfa. Actually, that's hay.
But happy Friday, everybody. And thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday. They provide us with delicious breakfast treats. Mm-hmm. Swing by any of your 3 locations here in town, including that South Main. As we keep saying each and every week, don't forget to download the McDonald's app. Give it a little dance on your phone there. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to like it. Their rewards program's strong. If you're trying to tighten the budget because you're spending all your money getting gas, you know what? The rewards program, McDonald's, can help you out a little bit.
That's right.
So give it a go. So even though you're paying $4.20 for gas,
think about it. 2 for $5 Big Macs, you're saving like $3. That's
exactly.
Like if you translate that to savings at the pump, you're paying like 30 cents less a gallon.
And because of Lent and everything, it's fish season, so they're doing like 2 for $5s on fish sandwiches and all that kind of stuff. So take advantage.
It's a good time to be a fish fan.
I love
not the
fish.
band, the fish.
I do not like the band.
I'm not a fan of the band.
No, that's too out there for me. But the Filet-O-Fish.
Yeah. Anytime you could be 2 hours deep into a concert and they're like, "No, we're only 3 songs in, bruh."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's just too much. You know what though? The game changer for me is the double Filet-O-Fish.
See, I've never done it.
I'm a huge fan. I love
decadent to me.
Well, to me, the meat to bun to cheese to tartar sauce ratio is so much better with a double filet.
I like the single aspect. I mean, I feel like if I'm going to have a double filet, I would rather have a second bun, a second half slice of cheese, more tartar sauce, and a second steamed bun. And by the way, that's the kicker. That's the key to make the Filet-O-Fish sandwich the best sandwich on the McDonald's menu is that steamed bun.
Yeah.
In fact, you can ask, it's frowned upon, but you can ask for the Filet-O-Fish bun with any sandwich on the menu.
Nice.
Yeah, just say, can I have a filet bun instead?
Okay.
Yeah, they'll hook you up with a steamed bun. But it's best on the Filet-O-Fish.
To me, the double is the perfect, like I could eat that every day and be A-okay.
Yeah.
I would not be like mad. I wouldn't be like, I'm stuck eating. You know what I mean? A double Filet-O-Fish.
I just feel like if I was ordering a double filet, I know my move, and that would be to take one of the fillets off and just eat it like a hand fruit.
Yeah. Now, to me, the meat ratio is so much better in the double filet.
For some reason, and I don't know why, but I have a hard time thinking of fish as meat. I know it is, but it's just you don't think about it as meat. Like when you hear people say, "Oh, I don't eat meat. I'm a pescatarian. I only eat fish." It's like, well, fish is still meat.
Yeah,
but
you're eating meat.
It's hard to kind of wrap your head around fish being meat. So yeah, but you're right.
It's not red meat.
Right.
That's the difference.
But it is a good ratio. I feel like the single's good. I mean, I guess
Single's delicious. I eat it every day, but the double is the Shangri-La.
I just never think to go double.
It goes level 12
That feels-
when it does it for me.
that feels like a bit of a stretch.
Like
I
now
never
that I'm
think to
saying
do it.
this, I think for lunch today I'm going to get a double Filet-O-Fish.
actually
'cause
kinda
I'm
sounds-
kind of like, I know I'm having McDonald's for breakfast, so I try to frown. You know, I don't try to eat this. You know,
But a fillet
doctor, I'm trying not to do
fillets
that.
are different. It's a different realm.
Yeah.
You're not eating fast food. You're enjoying a nice fish sandwich.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
It is.
never mind.
I
I'll
was
tell
gonna say
you
it's
later.
Friday, so you could have meat, but yeah, you're not Catholic.
I'm not Catholic.
No.
Artist formerly known as Catholic.
Right, you're
I was
Episcopalian.
Yes, I was Catholic.
Catholic light.
I was baptized Catholic and went to Catholic school for 3 years.
You're like Catholic 0 calorie.
I am.
Yeah.
Catholic 0.
Catholic 0.
So I've done, and I was baptized Catholic, but it's a family thing. My mom Catholic, and then when my father adopted me before, and he was Episcopalian, and my mom wasn't really religious, so we ended up going to more Episcopalian church growing up than Catholic.
I get family thing. We were raised Southern Baptist. Weirdly, around middle school, we made a switch to Church of Satan, which I thought was odd. It was an odd switch.
I thought it was satin, and then it just got weird.
It was. I thought we were just into soft fabrics, but the bloodletting was a bit much. It was. It got a little.
And then the goat pants were
Yeah,
weird.
it was odd. When they used to wake me up speaking in reverse in this real low tone, that was odd. But you know what? You acclimate to it.
Yeah. So much Chicago music.
Weirdly, a lot of muddy waters.
The point of all that was big thank you to McDonald's for hooking us up, and try the double Filet-O-Fish. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Big 2 thumbs up for me on that one. Sheriff Mike Harrington going to join us here in just a little bit. We'll chit chat about what's going on at the Sheriff's Department. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety and business update as well, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Hey, don't forget tomorrow, United Way of Chavez County is having their big fundraising event, Get Lucky Chavez County, tomorrow, March 12th, from 6 to 11:30 p.m. at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. This is a fundraising event. All the proceeds from Saturday night will go to United Way of Chavez County, which all those proceeds go to help just about every nonprofit in the county. You think about it, everything from scouting to the Roswell Refuge to I think Harvest Ministries, all those benefit from United Way. So you come out and have some fun here Saturday night, and help a lot of our great organizations here in town by doing that. Cost is $50 per ticket. You can get tickets online by going to this website, which, hold on, it's a lot to take in, www.getluckychavezcounty.brownpapertickets.com. getluckychavezcounty.brownpapertickets.com. That's the link to the website. Or you can call 575-622-4150 for more information. I believe if you go to the United Way of Chavez County's Facebook page, you'll find a link to get tickets, the brown paper tickets link to get those tickets. But they're $50. Your night will include an all things Irish dinner. They're going to have a cocktail hour, casino-style gaming, and dancing, all from 6 to 11:30 tomorrow night at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. Again, getluckychavezcounty.brownpapertickets.com to get tickets at that website, or call for more information, 575-622-4150. And get your Irish on. Don't forget to wear your green and get lucky. You might get pinched if you're not wearing the green. Although it's not St. Patty's Day, I think that rule applies at a St. Patrick's Day event. So I don't know. You'll have to talk to a lawyer about the legalities there, but I think that's how it should work. All right, it is 8:15. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some snow showers will be possible this morning, but sunshine comes back this afternoon as low pressure clears out of our area. Pretty cool and breezy today. Our afternoon high only around 40. Clear and cold overnight. We'll drop into the upper teens, and then a lot nicer over the weekend. Low 60s and sunny for Saturday. We're back to the low 70s and fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 25 degrees and still snowing out there. Humidity is at 81%. Winds are out of the north at 14 miles per hour. We are in a winter weather advisory in case you needed a little reminder, and that's going to remain in effect today through 11 o'clock this morning. The snow should be lingering around till about noon or so. Highs of 38 today, so we're not going to warm up a whole lot today. Winds will be out of the north 10 to 15 miles per hour. They're saying around an inch total is our total counts here on some of this. For tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 16 with northeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. Saturday, warms right back up. That's right. All our coldness is today and tonight. And then tomorrow we're back up into the 60s. Sunny skies, 63 for a high tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 in the morning, picking up 10 to 15 for tomorrow afternoon. Saturday night, clear skies with an overnight low of 24. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. We're going to be back up in the 70s on Sunday. A little breezy. Sunny, highs around 74. South winds 5 to 10 early, 10 to 15 for Sunday afternoon. And then looking at next week, sunny 68 Monday, sunny 77 on Tuesday. Wednesday will be back into the low 80s, 83 on Sunday or on Wednesday. And then they're saying there's a 20% chance of some rain showers about Thursday of next week with highs right around 70. We'll see how all that shapes up. All right, it is 8:17. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Sheriff Mike Harrington, Undersheriff Charles Eastlis is going to join us here, and we'll talk Sheriff's Department on the other side. Don't go away.
Move on over to the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. The Cow is stocked with fabrics and everything you need. And the Calico Cow is your destination for brand new Brothers sewing machines. Find out more and shop online at roswellquilting.com or move on over to the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
Where can you find the best selection of beautiful and unique home decor in the region? Easy, Casa Decor in Ruidoso. For years, people from all over have come to Casa Decor for the best selection of rustic, real wood furniture, beautiful decor from the Southwest and beyond, and quality outdoor furniture and accessories that are built to last a lifetime. At Casa Decor, they have over 10,000 square feet of showroom for everything you need. Casa Decor opens 7 days a week from 9:30 to 5 at 1214 Meacham Drive in Ruidoso or online at casadecorruidoso.com. Proud supporter of local high school sports. The Valley Cafe is now open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Located inside the 180 Youth Building across from Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try one of their signature creations like the sweet and spicy burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, the chicken cordon bleu soup, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman burger with creamy green chili sauce. Or swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school. Don't feel like leaving home? Order takeout from DoorDash. Nutrien Ag Solutions of Artesia is looking for a general labor yard hand to join their team. Nutrien Ag Solutions is a respected and well-established company who values their employees. To apply, please stop by Nutrien Ag Solutions at 103 East Mill Road in Artesia or apply online at nutrien.com or indeed.com. For more information on this current job opening, please call Nutrien Ag Solutions at 575-748-3510. Nutrien Ag Solutions is an equal opportunity employer.
Celebrate spring break at the Spring River Zoo with one of their exciting day camps. Each day is a separate camp where children will enjoy animal-themed crafts and games, fun educational activities, a guided tour of the zoo, and amazing encounters with the animals for children aged 4 through 6. Events will take place March 14th and 15th from 8 a.m. till noon. For children aged 7 to 12, themed camps will take place March 16th, 17th, and 18th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call the Spring River Zoo at 575-624-6750 or visit roswellconnect.org for information and to reserve your ticket.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit NationalGuard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Score a slam dunk during the March Mania savings event at Roswell Honda with a great lineup of vehicles you can't miss. Like a 2018 Kia Optima for just $279 a month, a 2011 Honda Pilot for just $249 a month, or a 2016 Audi A3 for just $219 a month. Get a 12-pack just for stopping by, a basketball with a test drive, and a Big 5 gift card with purchase. And while you're there, register to win a 54-inch Spalding basketball hoop to be given away March 19th at 1. Score big during the Slam Dunk Savings Event at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
Oh, man. Hey, good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and showing up, he always makes an entrance. He does, doesn't he? Sheriff Mike Harrington joining us, Under Sheriff Charles Eastless, and LT, James Mason as well. Morning, guys.
Good morning.
How's everything going?
Going good.
A little cold and a little snowy.
Yeah, what happened here? Who ordered this?
Tell you what.
Yeah, it'll be 90 by this afternoon.
Exactly. Yeah, just wait. It changes. Yeah. It's New Mexico. Tomorrow you're going to be sunbathing. So
that's what I was going to say. That's how the weather is for spring break. It's snow. You know.
That's right. That's right. It'll be 74 Sunday, 64 tomorrow, and like Wednesday of next week is supposed to be like 80 something, 83 or 82. So, and then rain the next day. So we'll see what happens.
We take it day by day.
Yeah, and we like it that way. Actually,
I was about to say, you guys.
Yeah.
That's kind of just a day in the life for you. I mean, the weather's weird here, but that's kind of life as a sheriff's deputy. You know,
it's weird. Exactly.
Any given day.
Yeah, you
could
never
be
know.
where you're just staring at walls, and then one day it's
roll with what happens.
You're working the next 48 hours trying to take care of a case or a situation here.
Absolutely.
But you guys have been busy.
It has been busy, but it's the good thing for us is that we've been able to solve a lot of stuff that's going on, and
hey,
it's been good.
I do want to throw congratulations to the FBI and the Roswell Police Department for their getting that dude out of Mexico, that murderer suspect,
absolutely, bringing him back,
and getting that's kind of a big deal. I'm curious. I'm sure you guys have had to deal with like Mexican authorities and things, and I'm kind of curious because we've done it on the radio side.
Yes.
Because of our proximity of our licensing and our towers and things, we have a tower in Carlsbad we had a tower that was in Carlsbad. We moved to Artesia to service our stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But because we're within 200 miles of the Mexican border, we had to get the Mexicans' version of the FCC involved in permission.
Oh.
But for folks that don't know, the Mexican government doesn't work like our government.
Right.
And things get buried on desks and just will disappear for years. But if you know the right guy or pay the right guy, the next thing you know, that pile gets moved up to the top of the list there.
Yeah.
I gotta imagine on the law enforcement side, you guys deal with that kind of stuff when you're dealing with Mexican authorities too. I was just curious.
And they don't want the problem child there either.
Right. Yeah, they don't want to meet. Yeah.
No, so they that's the easier side because they just don't want them there, and they're glad to get them back.
Right.
So we haven't had any issues when it comes to that. It's more when you're trying to bring somebody for something less serious, and that's
where it gets a little muddy. Yeah. But when it's bad and everyone agrees this guy's a bad guy, everyone's like, no, you take him.
You go ahead and get him out of here.
Yeah.
Depending on the crime, depends on their effort.
Sure. Yeah. And he was, I know this is probably RPD stuff, but he was already in jail for something else different, right? And he or did they catch him and put him in jail, and then it was all waiting for extra? I don't know.
I don't know.
That I don't either.
Yeah.
So I know that's more. Another case that got a lot of run here that I kind of want to talk about is the gentleman that fell in the well.
Oh,
you
yes.
guys were.
He did.
Yeah. I think I've heard at the end of the day it was a suicide attempt. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. I'm just hearing scuttlebutt rumors.
No.
And so I just kind of know what information you guys have.
More and more looking at it, it looks as though he was probably trying to steal wire.
Okay.
Because he went in there we get the call at about 5:19. That's whenever the property owners see the door open and they can hear someone from inside there saying hello.
Gotcha.
Well, when they look in, they see a tarp in there, and they think that the guy is wrapped up in the tarp, and they find that he's not in the tarp. He's actually in the bottom of the well. But that's once our deputies arrive, because they didn't go in. You've got a shed there nobody's supposed to be in.
Sure.
And you hear, hello, hello. You're not going in there for nothing.
Yeah.
So
there's not enough tea in China to get me in that thing. Yeah, I get you.
But it looks like
right?
he was he was stealing stuff or had the intention to steal stuff because he had went already around the side of the house, got the garden hose. Looks as though he tried to tie it and do some things to go down into.
Oh, he was going to MacGyver his way down.
Yeah, because there's wiring and stuff to those wells, and there's other things, and where that sits. It's just like anything out in the country. It's by itself, so you think it's an easy target. Well, he fell and landed down at the bottom. And how it's just amazing how people can fall 40 feet, land the way he landed, and the only thing that happens is some busted up ribs
and things.
Yeah, but legs and arms and everything else are all intact.
Yeah, he was very lucky.
He's very lucky. And it was wide enough that he had to try to reach out to the center pole, and I think he just didn't make it, and went straight into the deal, because there was two firemen down there, an actual ambulance hospital bed.
Oh, wow.
That they put down
there. That's a
there.
little roomier than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's not
it was
just
big enough for several people.
Yeah, so it's not just a little hole.
Yeah, I just get the image like cartoons or something.
Yeah, no, this was a large hole. It's big enough to fit this desk in.
Okay.
So it went down 40 feet, and kind of reminded me of like how you go out to the old missile silos, how it's just straight drop, but it's wide.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it is.
Kind of how it looked.
So when he hit the ground, he's very lucky that more serious things didn't happen.
He's absolutely lucky.
And so now, but we've got an issue with homeless individuals just and it's not just the homeless. We just have an issue with people stealing other people's stuff.
Well, hopefully this is a wake-up call for this gentleman, because think about it. If he's down there stealing wire, he's feeding a drug addiction.
Yeah.
And if you think about that, if you're at that point in your life where you're willing to do something that stupid to feed your drug addiction, hopefully that's a wake-up call and say, maybe I need some help. Maybe I need to, maybe the family is now going to, wrangle in, and hopefully this, because clearly that's a drug addiction problem. And that wouldn't have happened if that man wasn't hooked on meth or whatever he's on.
Well, and the other thing is when you watch a lot of TV, you think you can just throw a rope down or a water hose or whatever, and you can come right back up by yourself. It's pretty gutsy anyway to go down, because he removed the baseboards, he removed everything in there.
So he did some work to get in there.
Yes, it wasn't. He just fell into a hole. There was some work done there.
It's a covered hole.
Sure.
And you have to remove the boards.
Yeah, they just don't leave these open holes out here willy nilly.
No, and especially in this dark shed. But he the craziest thing to me is you're by yourself. Nobody knows that you're there, and you're going to go 40 feet down into the abyss, pretty much, because if you can't get out and nobody knows you're there, no one would have checked that well.
Right.
That guy would have been dead in the bottom of that well.
Oh, yeah, he would have.
And
they found him when they went to service the well.
Sure. Yeah. Or, when something starts smelling out of there, then, when he's rotting away, then they're like, maybe we should take a look.
Yeah. But out in the country, the smell of rotting is natural.
It's kind of,
it's.
They think it's a bird or something died in there.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah. But that's the thing that just the drive to get a couple dollars worth of wiring is crazy. How they'll do things like that. We've seen people go to those AM radio towers, and what are those balls on there? The ones that have the electricity.
Those antennas and the microwaves and things out there.
And they'll touch that and boom.
What amazes me is you have to give them some credit for being ingenious.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're bright, because if any of us tried to do any of that, it'd probably
I would have never thought to go down that angle to do something like that.
I know.
And not ingenious for thinking of that, but these guys will take copper off of power lines.
Yeah.
If one of us even gets close to it, it would probably kill us.
Yeah, they do.
They do some crazy things.
I just think it's
desperate.
They're either lucky or they're just
I wouldn't call
gutsy.
it ingenious. I call it
desperation.
Just desperate.
Well,
dumb.
It's really the power of these drugs.
Just crazy.
Just crazy because there's no and that's it. They're just lucky they haven't been killed up to this point.
I honestly believe that their brain is so rewired that all they care about is feeding that addiction, and so those things in their head don't seem that dangerous. They're like, it's a means to an end.
Well, it goes back to
it's just an obsession with electricity.
Yeah, but it goes back to the drug itself making you believe. You don't know what's real and what's not real. So
and unfortunately, there's money in these metals, and
some people believe they can fly, and
I think I'm just curious, and this is, we got the problem that people stealing it, but obviously somebody's buying what they're stealing.
Oh yeah.
So is that something that you guys? Because I'm sure any reputable business, they see this stuff coming, they call you guys. But
if it's over a certain amount, or if it's a person who shouldn't have access to that type of wiring. They do call us, and we do have a great relationship with the recycling centers and stuff like that.
Is that where they usually try to take it, as recycling center?
And they'll try to take it. If they can't do it here, they'll go to Artesia, or they'll go somewhere else, and they'll try to sell it there. But what we've learned is there's a good networking, and everybody knows the circle.
Sure.
So they're like, okay, and they start calling saying, hey, did you guys get any theft of wiring or anything? Because some of them will go out and take an entire spool of wire, or go out and hook up to an underground wire and just hook it to their truck and rip the whole thing out of the ground. Yeah. So,
not to mention the thousands of dollars of damage you're doing to these businesses and the money,
and that's it.
Taking them off air or taking them offline.
And they're shut down for a certain amount of time, costing them money.
But no one cares about that aspect.
When you have the outside unit of an air conditioner, and they'll take a $7 piece of copper but ruin a $7,000 unit for that, busted up getting to it, and it's just crazy. But I can tell you, and if you've never been shocked by one of those things out of a TV, or those old TVs.
Our engineers call it getting bit.
Yeah, getting bit.
Yeah,
I'll tell you. You got to be pretty gutsy to go in there and get those balls.
There's a reason why radio engineers are weirdos.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you that.
All of them are weirdos. And engineers in general are engineers in general are kind of weirdos. I think that's part of it. They get bit a lot.
Yeah, I don't deal with nothing electricity. They're like, oh look, that's 110 or whatever, and they'll show you and they'll touch it, and I'm like, oh no, I don't need nothing like that.
That's too dangerous. I'm gonna be a cop.
Yeah. Ain't that? Now we're talking about mentality. See? Yeah, crazy mentality.
Yeah, which is the smarter.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw it in there. It was just right there.
Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But I'm kind of curious, as far as other kind of, unfortunately, you guys see a lot of the, road issues and accidents and things. Has that been still pretty heavy, or is that starting to slow down a little bit? I haven't noticed as much of it.
We're still having it, but it's alcohol related, but texting is a big thing right now. One of the...
That's so scary. I see it every day. I go up and down Main Street, and there's somebody going slower or kind of doing one of these moves, and then I go by them, and sure enough, they're sitting there with their head buried in their phone.
With these newer...
And it's not just young people. It's 40, 50-year-olds. It's everybody.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
And the newer cars are really, with the keeping you from going from one lane to the other, probably helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Also, if you go to come up behind somebody real fast, it will stop you. You got a lot of these different things that are
assisted
helping.
Driving assisted.
Assisted driving. So it's come down a little bit, but I can honestly tell you that the number that we are catching in DWIs is up.
That's
up. Something that we were going to have James talk a little bit about today.
Is that a sign of the times too? Do you think a little bit people? The world we live in, people medicate themselves.
Yeah.
And then they go out and decide to have a get dinner or something, and they don't think they're drunk, and here we go.
Yeah.
Our average has pretty much been the same every month just for us. So, they're out there. We're catching.
I just didn't know with you know what I mean? When people have idle time, they get into shenanigans. That's just
Time
the
bars play a lot in it too.
Yeah. Well, bars have opened back up. You have your restaurants now are opened up, and so people are going out. Like you said, the thing is that when you're sitting there, a lot of and this isn't against the restaurant business or anything, but they don't have the number of staff, so you sit there longer.
Gotcha.
As you sit there longer, they drink a little more, and or they sit and visit afterwards. Either one, and then when they get in the car, you still feel good. Alcohol is a creeping thing, and so that's one of those things that you just don't realize it until you're driving down the road and somebody stops you.
I'm curious too, as part of the DUIs and things, is that ratio switched a little bit with seeing more cannabis related impairments and things, because obviously I know that's a little trickier to tell, but are you seeing an uptick in that where you're seeing more people not so much drunk but high?
And that's just it. We're getting people trained in A-Ride, and
that's a different animal on detecting that, because that doesn't. A dog can't necessarily, or a breathalyzer doesn't tell you if someone's just high or not. Yeah, they got to do a blood test. But you guys can look at eyes and they're acting weird.
Tongue.
That's indicators.
But
it's generally alcohol.
The one thing too is that we also know is that when they do a DWI stop and they do the inventory, they are finding more marijuana. So it's not just the marijuana. There's alcohol use and marijuana or other.
Usually, if someone's abusing it, they're abusing multiple things. The people that are using it for personal or using it for recreation, whatever it is.
That's what we say. If it's your recreational drug,
they're doing it.
Yeah.
Use it at home.
It's intended or whatever.
Stay at home, relax, do whatever.
Exactly.
So if someone's on influence and it's on drugs, maybe they're high, but usually they're also drunk.
But it goes back to
if
alcohol,
they're drunk, if they're pretty intoxicated
Mhm.
and they're using marijuana, you're not going to notice that because you're gonna do the breathalyzer,
Sure.
and you're not going to.
And the alcohol symptoms or the alcohol indicators are going to be much more prevalent than the marijuana ones.
Correct.
It goes.
Yeah.
It goes back to once again what I said a long time ago when marijuana was first legalized for recreational use. The governor legalized the use of marijuana without having a plan of how to sell it legally, not the medical. I'm talking for recreational.
Yeah.
And the other thing is how to test for it accurately, because it will show the smallest amount. It just shows positive for marijuana.
Gotcha.
So you can get a DWI on marijuana not even be truly impaired.
Well, and that's
So-
if it was in your system,
It's in your system.
then it shows up positive,
Yep.
but that doesn't mean you're high. It means
That's
you
right.
smoked weed within the last 30
Yeah,
days.
that's right.
Or exposed to it.
Yeah.
And then, and I don't know, this is where I'm lacking knowledge. Does the marijuana show, like, I hear people eat poppy seed bagels and those kind of things,
No.
pop drug tests.
No.
Is that, that's all?
No.
They used to say lemon poppy seed and all
Yeah.
these other things.
Yeah, I'll
And,
tell you
okay.
what.
and the
It
thing
does.
with DWI with marijuana, even if they have it in their system, you're not going just based on what their system is. You're going off the indicators that you're
Yeah.
picking up.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
you have to show the impairment prior to it. So
Gotcha.
just
And
that
like
makes
you
it a little bit.
So actually, they gotta. So basically, you have to. Your testimony is probably the most important thing on a
It really is.
impairment
The
with
video.
drug.
The video and the vehicle.
Exactly. Because at that
tells
point,
the story.
it's when you're seeing people act out of character, and let's face it, I'm guessing. I'm making a joke here, but you probably get less resistance from a pothead versus a drunk. Just saying,
Yeah.
just because potheads are
Correct.
different than you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Someone who's high on weed, they usually go with the flow. Very,
Yeah.
hey man,
No, more.
you could probably bribe them with a sandwich to get in the car.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know,
we don't give up sandwiches. Look at us, hey man. Look at us. We don't give up no sandwich. Yeah.
With anything, whether it's marijuana, whether it's alcohol, if you're going to use it, stay home, or make sure that you're within your moderation.
be responsible, just like you will
Be
with anything else you do
responsible.
in your
They're
life.
both
Yeah.
legal. Be
Well, and-
responsible. It's those.
It's very clear recreational marijuana is intended to be used in your personal area.
Sure.
Not to be driving around smoking it like you would a cigarette or doing any of these things. And the other thing is like I said, probably one of the things that we're seeing more than anything else is the accessibility now to the younger children because it's not being hid in a closet.
Right, it's sitting on a coffee
with a
table.
string down into your wall where you got to pull it out of the wall. You
Yeah.
know, it's now setting out where kids are getting into the gummies, young kids, and right now, and I'll tell you the scariest thing, and this is something that goes back to what I was saying about the governor not having a plan in place. Fentanyl is being laced on everything.
That's the scary,
So
dangerous
you,
stuff.
You
out
get
there.
marijuana and you think that you're only doing the same marijuana that you've always done, and you're dead.
Yeah.
And
then you got someone with an addict mindset, and you
Yes.
tell them there's fentanyl in here. They don't care because it's an end to a goal.
Yeah.
And then they
a new
smoke
experience.
it or experience or shoot it, whatever they do.
Yeah.
The same way they would with their heroin, but if it's full of fentanyl and they're taking the same amount, they're overdosing. And they're
Well, you
dying
know-
because that fentanyl is much more potent.
Yeah, yeah, just the skin absorption is deadly.
Yeah, and the thing of it is and I we all agree is that you have it's the same as buying alcohol from an alcohol store, buying marijuana from a marijuana dispensary. You know that you're getting
There's regulation
the product,
involved.
You know you're getting the
Yeah.
product that's intended. You know it's not laced. You know it's safe. You know it's but when
It'll
you
get you
buy
high,
that-
but that's all it'll get
But
you.
when you buy that alcohol from that guy that's making that hooch in the garage, you're not sure what he's making it with.
Sure.
You're not sure what that guy that's home growing, what he's lacing it with.
Yeah.
And so, that's where you have your issues is
Sure.
is
I mean, the government gets their money, and that's why it's regular. We look at it as like, that's a great way for the government to get their
Well-
money taxing everything, which is good.
Well,
but also at the same time,
we saw that
it
with
forces them
Colorado.
to make a
Well,
product that isn't dangerous.
Well, what we know is
As is,
only the medical marijuana are they making any money. The other is still there's no regulation on it, so there's no taxes being paid on you selling marijuana.
And I think what I hear is they're going to keep the medical, and that's going to be tax free, and then the recreational is where they're going to hit you with the tax. Yeah.
All I ask, and I'm saying this is, Governor, if you're listening, put some plans in place and open up some dispensaries that are made for this.
Yeah.
So if I catch the average guy with more than a personal use, I can charge them.
Sure.
With something, rather than a $50 fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like alcohol. It's going to be so accessible. The abuse is easy.
Sure.
And the problem is once it gets into the hands of these kids, especially kids, they don't realize that it only takes one beer to put you at DWI at a .02.
Mm-hmm.
It also can give them alcohol poisoning faster than it can me and you.
Absolutely.
And, so it's something that, but marijuana is the same way.
There's a reason why children aren't exposed or aren't supposed to be exposed to these things because when you get to be an adult, and you're fully grown and you're in your 20s and 30s, your body is done developing and brain's done, you know what I mean? When you hit that point, and then you choose to have a drink or have a cigarette, a marijuana cigarette, or whatever, you want to do there, gummy or whatever it is, you're an adult with a fully developed brain. You're not going to be causing as much damage to the system as you would if you're a 16, 15, 14, 18-year-old kid drinking beer and that you do that because your brain is still developing. Your brain is still making its final stages to be a fully mature brain here.
Right.
And so by you interjecting those things in at an early age, I would guess, I don't know about studies, I would guess your addiction rates are going to be higher, because your brain is not fully developed there. And then, of course, we know addiction properties are hereditary. So if you've got a family history of this, then guess what? Ours are pretty good. You're more susceptible to get hooked on that first time than someone who doesn't have that.
Well, that's why they have these regulations for age, 21 and older for alcohol.
That's why it's important.
And the age
it's not just to be mean.
For medical marijuana the same way.
To protect you while you're developing. Then when you're an adult, screw it up on you, that's on you.
No,
but until we get a kid, we need to make sure you're not doing that.
And we've seen the effects of it helping people, adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's one of the things that you got to know is when these younger kids, like you said, they're not developed to the point of understanding consequences. So they're more of a daredevil.
Sure.
They're more of saying, you know what?
Well, they
keep chugging. Where me and you, this is why the military loves 18-year-olds. Because when they say take that hill,
we're indestructible.
They run to that hill knowing people are still shooting at them. People my age are like, call in the Air Force, man. Bomb that thing. Yeah, bomb it. We're not going to run to that hill.
Absolutely.
So
we're fearless and young.
Yeah.
When we're young and you got the whole world ahead of you, you don't know what the concept of death.
I was a kid. I'd run full speed, jump off my house, and not be injured at all. Now I stand on the edge of my tailgate looking at the ground like that.
You're like
barely,
shoes untied. You're like, I'll get it later.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm like that. Do I need to sit down and my feet are just this far from the ground? And I'm like that. Okay,
we've reached an age. And I'm gonna tell on us real quick. We've reached an age, and I'm not pointing anybody out at this table because there's one at every
I got a feeling all of us around the same age of dirt
now
chewing
have
here.
slip-on shoes and Velcro shoes that we said we'd never own.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're simple and they're a lot easier.
My favorite pair of shoes right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Ain't a tie on it, a Velcro. Boom.
That also comes with having this belly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
if you can't see your feet, then you don't care.
Yeah, you don't care.
You just got to
Do I
get
even
close.
have shoes on? Yeah,
don't matter.
Yeah, don't matter. Yeah, so.
Let's just step on a Lego. You don't care.
But yeah, that's where as you're older, you understand consequences, and you also understand it takes longer for your body to heal.
Yeah.
Where with these young kids, they don't understand that, and they put themselves in more of a daredevil situation, and they're so easily influenced to do more than what they should. And so that's where we see deadly things happen and the loss of life.
Because they think, I'll get through it. It's not going to happen to me, and then it happens.
It happens.
Or they don't understand the effects of what their body can take in.
Sure.
And it's kind of like that person that is drinking and drinking, and they're having a good time, and it doesn't hit them until they walk outside and the cold air hits them. And then they're like, whoa.
And then peer pressure is a big thing in that younger community. I mean, you get to a party or whatever, and someone's a little apprehensive to drink, and then go.
Right.
And next, someone who intended not to drink that end up drinking food poison or alcohol poisoning themselves because peer pressure and all that. That's real. That was real when we were kids. It's real now. It is.
And you know that, and the information that we pass out about kids doing crazy things and all that education has been going on forever.
Mm-hmm.
I just was watching an older movie, and it talks about the young versus the old mentality, and it was colors, and it says we're gonna walk down rather than run down.
Oh, I know the joke.
Yeah,
the bulls. Yeah, I know about the bull.
Yeah, so
the young cow and the bull. I know all
that's
that.
right. So it's been around forever, but the one thing is you can't teach that. You can't teach experience to somebody.
Sure.
You have to. They have to experience it.
They have to do it.
They have to earn it.
You just hope they caught a bit of it, and maybe when they're faced with these decisions, some of what you told them rings true to them, and they hope to make the right decision.
That's right.
And learn from your mistake.
Goes
You know
back
what I
to
mean?
hot.
Well,
What?
and
Hot.
on the education side, just so people know, COVID's cleared up, and we've got our guys out there, and we're going to be full speed out
Thanks
there.
to the war on Russia, COVID doesn't exist anymore.
That's exactly right.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing how that happens? Right?
No one cares about masks.
But the price of fuel has skyrocketed.
Yeah, that's where that's something else to complain
that's
about.
because Biden shut down all of our
that's a
gas
whole
lines.
other
So that's
thing.
a whole different
We were
thing.
all talking about we're going to have
That
the
could have been
most
avoided.
muscular legs around because we're all getting bicycles.
I was about to say you could have started a bike unit. Maybe.
Well, I'm going to tell you, we probably should.
Only if y'all wear short shorts. If y'all get out there on bikes and short shorts.
Can't do the Reno 911.
I can picture Charles with the cowboy hat, the vest, and short shorts.
You don't want to picture that. You don't want
I
to
kind of
picture
do, Charles. I kind of do.
Be
That
like
would not sit well. You would have nightmares.
be like a gorilla. Be like a gorilla.
I think James can pull it off. I think he can do the shorts.
No,
and
no.
the
He actually
dangle.
should be a bicycle.
I think he can do the dangle move and get the tight shorty shorts.
Well, he's already Farva.
Wow, that's a jump.
That's what everybody believes. If you watch that movie, you're going to see Super Troopers.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
Remember.
So 1 and 2, they're both funny.
That's right. Just remember that.
And the Reno 911's the other.
Yeah.
Did you see the new one on? It came out like around Christmas time on Paramount Plus.
I seen that.
Yeah, they go after QAnon. They're searching for QAnon.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. It's just like it's equally ridiculous.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, it's like all of the Reno 911, like the early ones, like
They combined them all.
every cop that's ever been in the Reno 911 is in that movie. It's pretty funny. So you got different generations of the cast, and of course Dangle and all them are doing. 2 minutes into the movie, they're about to float away on a balloon and a bike and everything.
Believe it or not.
Well,
now I'm curious. Before we get into this, how much of that like I look at WKRP and I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of stuff in that's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
How many of the jokes in Reno 911 hit close to home? Just out of curious.
Let me
I'm going to have
tell
to
you right now.
We'll plead the fifth.
I was just curious. Like sometimes I look at those meetings, I'm like, how much is real?
You got people who've been police officers that have, and all of us do actually.
Yeah.
You have a sense of humor about you, and they just take that sense of humor and then they amplify it.
Yeah.
And some of it is blown a lot bigger, but really and truly the base of it is there.
Sure.
So that's how it is.
It's
So
funny because it's based on some actual events and maybe it's over the top or over exaggerated. But there is that guy that kind of was thinking or acting or doing some of those things. You're like, it's funny because it's kind of true.
Yeah, But let me tell you who the worst one you don't want when you come into briefing. you just hope to God your day's not in the barrel, because everybody around you is there. It's constantly just joking and picking on you or on everybody. And so,
but that's kind of the brotherhood,
it's the
sisterhood of being on. It's no
really
different in the military.
I can pick on my brother, but no one else.
You bust your chops, you bust each other's chop, but dang it, and someone else on the outside does it. We're coming full force at you.
And I believe that in this career field, just like any other career field, you have to make light of the situation. And so you're gonna.
It's a coping mechanism.
Yeah, it really is a coping mechanism. And I tell you what, I love it. I like to go in there and see everybody just having a good time and picking on one another and doing whatever, because it's nothing more than just being fun.
What's the human side of law enforcement? And in the world we've lived in for the last couple of years, and the animosity and everything else, and the whole defund the police mindset, which thank God that seems to be dying away.
Yeah,
finally people come to their senses. But what I mean is seeing the human side of law enforcement officers really, I think, is the best way to derail some of that talk. When they realize that's another human being who's got a life just like you do, trying to get through their life on the other side of that equation. And then and when you understand why these actions or questions or commands are being given to you, then we can avoid all of the other stuff, and we can settle in court. If you've got a legit beef, that's why we have courts. That's why it's not the time at the crime scene.
We don't argue on the side of the road
to litigate the case. That's not. You know what I mean.
And we're basing everything that we do on probable cause.
Yeah. Right.
When you get to court, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
So you have the ability to come in and defend your case. You're not guilty just because you walk into the courtroom.
Sure.
It's just saying that this is what we observed. Now you come in and explain why we observed that.
Sure.
And then once it's all said and done, if the jury or the judge believes that beyond a reasonable doubt, you are innocent or guilty, that's the way they go.
And just pull back a curtain here, the job that James is hoping to obtain here, on the judge side, and that's where the judge discretion comes in, because that's where it's really turns into punishment versus treatment. Where you sit down with him and say, this kid just did some dumb things. We're not going to lock him up. We're going to educate him or get him to a point where it's like, this is, to learn from this versus be punished for this, versus someone who's been down this road, has been sitting in front of a judge 50, 100 times already. As soon as they go to jail, they're out within weeks, months, days, and back doing the same stuff. Those people we want to punish and lock up, or if they're drug-related stuff, sometimes getting them in jail is the best. The best thing for an addict.
That's some of the best rehab.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, and this is what we learned through our entire career.
Yeah.
This is what we train for. This is we have this ability through our entire career.
But as police officers, you kind of have to be judges and a different.
You do.
Not to be sensing, but also determine whether this person needs to be booked or to be treated. And what I mean by that, and sometimes it's the same thing.
Oh, there's plenty of times we've made that decision on there. Now there's some things you don't have a choice, but you're going to go to jail. There's other things that we say, okay, this is a family-based issue. What can we do to help you get some treatment? Or if this is a drug addiction, can we get you to some kind of counseling? But when your actions hurt somebody else, there's no choice but to take you.
That's
to jail.
when jail. When your problems impact another person and their ability to live their lives, then it's time for you to be punished.
Well, and that's exactly what we talk about, and that's one of the things that we've talked with James, and James has talked to us about. Being in the judge position, the best thing that's going to help him out is, one, he's got a family.
Right.
He's got kids. He knows he's been he's lived life. Plus, he's also been on this side of it. So you know both sides. And when you come into this, you can say, you know what? I understand life.
Yeah.
Because you got to judge it not based on being a policeman or being a family man. You need to base it on what the law says, but also on personal experience can also apply.
It's black and white and a lot of gray in between.
It's a lot of gray.
The law is black and white, but how you apply the law is very gray sometimes.
You remember the good old Dragnet? Just the facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We go off the facts. We're the fact finders and the judges. look at the facts.
Yeah.
But there's got to be compassion.
And that's exactly.
There's got to be
and that's what you
There's
learn
gotta be some empathy.
over your entire career.
Sure.
Dealing
But you
with
know,
everything you do in life.
Yeah,
you learn
absolutely.
That. You learn.
So one of the things that I also wanted to say is,
we got about 2 minutes before that.
So
we gotta go.
I just wanted to say this. Right now, we're working great with the other law enforcement agencies. We've got things that are going on right now. My detectives are working with the FBI. They're working with the Roswell Police Department, State Police. We're doing a lot of things together, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands we are working great together as a team. One of the things you seen on Facebook yesterday was a Hagerman police officer was assisting us.
I did see that. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned. I caught that this morning.
Was backed into, and while the person's trying to get out of there, they back into the unit. So I just want everybody to know the law enforcement agencies around here, Dexter, Hagerman, Lake Arthur, Roswell PD, State Police, us, Mounted Patrol, couldn't do a lot of things without those guys.
Yep.
So, we're all working great together.
Even the federal authorities,
The
too.
federal
Yeah.
authorities. I'm telling you right now.
We've been in contact with them a lot lately.
Yeah. And that's how all this stuff went on getting that guy out of Mexico. Our FBI here is working great with those authorities over there, and we can call them and say, hey, this is what we've got going on, and they can get things done that we don't have the ability to.
They can make the phone calls.
So we've been doing it has just been amazing to watch everybody working together. And, we work calls within the city of Roswell, Dexter, Hagerman, Lake Arthur, down in the Duncan. It doesn't matter. We're
outside the county.
Outside the county.
Absolutely.
Went and helped Portales here just recently with a warrant roundup there. So everybody is working good together. And it really has improved more than I can honestly tell you, over the last couple of years that it's been a good thing.
We're out of time. Dang it. How's staffing real quick?
So we're still 7 or 8 down.
Yes, we are 7 down at this time. If you're interested in applying, go online, go to the Chaves County website. You can apply online, submit your application online. Please be patient. It takes approximately 7 to 10 days for me to receive it from HR. But once I receive it, I'll review it, and then I will contact you. If you've submitted your application already and I haven't contacted you, it's simply because I am in the process of putting together the list so that we can get the testing completed. And there are 2 parts. There's physical testing and written testing. If you have any questions about becoming a sheriff's deputy, you can contact us 624-6500, or you can call me directly. I do the interviews and the hiring process. And my extension is 624-6610.
Very good.
And
Come be
I'll
a part of
answer
the
any
family.
questions. Absolutely.
It's a hard job, but a great job.
And while we're talking about that, I just want to say this. Follow the Chaves County Sheriff's Office Facebook page.
Absolutely.
And we're coming up into a time of spring break. I want everybody to be safe.
Be careful.
We are going to be out there in
idle time.
force. Yes, we're going to be out there in force.
He's going to be.
We're looking for underage.
That's right.
We're looking for underage drinking. We're looking for out of control drinking. We're looking for DWIs. We're looking for anybody who plans on targeting an individual and making them a victim of a crime. We are hunting you down. So just know that. And this next week, we have teams out there that are going to find you, and you may spend your spring break in jail.
Yep. So be smart. Don't do it. If you're underage.
Be smart and enjoy spring break.
Yeah, enjoy your spring break.
Don't abuse it.
And if you're an adult, do it responsibly, and certainly don't contribute to underage drinking or underage drug use.
Go outside, throw a football, or play your video games. Stay at the house.
Be responsible with your stuff.
And hopefully we have good weather.
Yeah,
I think we're going to be good. It's supposed to be 70, 80s all week.
Yeah,
So.
it already snowing already. Looks like it's about 80 degrees outside now already. So.
I'm going to go put my Speedo on and get out there and enjoy the snow.
There we go back
Stockings. Stockings. Yes.
See, there we go back to the
know.
thoughts,
Yeah, we already know.
Hey, they're warmer than you think.
Yeah.
You're going to be on Reno 911.
Yes, that's right.
I got a hint of dangle in me.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Have a great morning.
It is 9:02. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Town Hall News in progress.
You'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999.
China ordering a lockdown of the 9 million residents of the northeastern city of Changchun amid a new spike in COVID-19 cases in the area attributed to the highly contagious Omicron variant. Residents required to stay home, with one family member allowed to venture out to buy food and other necessities every 2 days. All residents must undergo 3 rounds of mass testing, while non-essential businesses have been closed and transport links suspended. The latest lockdowns show that China is sticking to the draconian approach to the pandemic it has enforced for most of the past 2 years. The European Union's foreign policy chief says that a pause is needed in ongoing talks over Iran's tattered nuclear deal with world powers, blaming external factors for the delay. The comments come as a roadmap appears imminent for the U.S. to rejoin the Iran nuclear accord. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The faithful spend big on the home team.
Green Bay's latest stock offering raised $65.8 million and produced 176,160 new shareholders for the NFL's only publicly owned franchise. The Packers sold a total of more than 198,000 shares at $300 each during the offering. Net proceeds will help fund ongoing construction projects at Lambeau Field, including new video boards and concourse upgrades. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
A drone has crashed in Croatia, apparently spillover from the war in Ukraine. Croatian officials say the unmanned aircraft crashed on the outskirts of the capital Zagreb. There was an explosion, but no injuries. It entered Croatian airspace from neighboring Hungary at a speed of 430 miles per hour, the altitude 4,300 feet. That means this large drone flew at least 350 miles, apparently undetected by air defenses in Croatia and Hungary. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy McDonald's Friday, because that's what it is.
Indeed.
Delightful McDonald's food just wafts through the air here in the studios. And
they have the corner of the Friday market here, here on 106.5.
So a big thank you to them. Swing by any of your 3 Roswell-located McDonald's.
That's right.
Get your McDonald's on. Don't forget, get the app, download the app, use the app. Take advantage of their rewards program. Getting points for every time you make purchases through the app. Next thing you know, you're getting free food, and I would say if you're a family with the kids and you got the crazy life on the run, and gas prices are $4.20 a gallon right now, and everything's going on, I'm thinking some free McDonald's food would be just the ticket for your family.
Those points are awesome. And then as you're walking away all happy with your points, they go, "Hey kid, catch." And then they throw you exactly the same amount of points they just gave you. And you look back and you go, "Hey, thanks, Mickey D's."
And then he goes out and plays football.
Yeah, then he goes out. McDonald's goes out and plays the game. But you can walk away with 2 times the points.
2 times. Not one time, but 2 times.
That is sadly one of those references that I hope that it keeps showing up in like commercial, like, analog or analogies or whatever. What do you call it? Collections. But there's a certain generation that's never going to get the whole Mean Joe reference.
Nope.
It's
there's
sad.
generations now that don't get it.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
But luckily it still shows up every, in like
it does.
Those best of the Super Bowl ads.
But young people don't know or care.
A certain demographic of young people, I think.
I would say most of them. That was weird.
Really?
Well, I can't take that call. Kind of busy right
now. To be connected with thousands of singles in your area.
It's actually, well, I don't know the numbers for someone that knows better.
No, just read the number.
Calling me right now. It's our traffic manager.
Oh. Odd.
I'm guessing someone's on the phone there and have a question.
Out.
And like, well, you call me, but I don't know. And it rang to here instead of to Tanner. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it was the Tanner call.
And I know I got texts and people want me to call me like in between guests, but I can't do it right
See,
now.
we're doing this thing called live morning radio, and what Mike deals with that, I am going to tell you that currently...
I still can't answer the phone.
If you need to answer it, I can go ahead and tell you that right now McDonald's is currently hiring for all locations. Head to mchire.com. They are looking for several different positions to be filled. And if you're looking for employment, trust me, the Snowburger family, they are all about hiring. And
That's a call from Napa, California now. Why is that coming to me?
Maybe there's somebody at the door.
Maybe.
I don't know. All right.
Why is it not ringing over there?
Pandemonium.
Is today Monday? What's going on? What's going on? It stopped ringing. Now it started ringing. That one was from California. Huh? I don't know. Did it ring in yours?
No.
Weird.
Yeah.
They must have called. I don't know.
Is
You
it,
can't
folks?
call that
This
number
is-
direct. I don't know.
This is live radio right here.
Oh, well. Sorry about that. All right.
I just, maybe in theory.
Well, that was a call from California.
Maybe they
So
were just
I'm sure
calling
that
to
was
let
a
you know
spam
that we
call.
just hit peak wine season.
Yeah, but they usually, I don't know how that got to me. Like, it should go to Tanner, and then after 10, there's a whole,
Right.
we have a phone system that
So my guess
prevents that from happening.
My guess,
Yeah.
somebody called a number that was the Artesian number. Tana transferred the call here.
Yeah.
And that was...
Maybe.
That's the only thing I can think that happened.
Yeah, well, sorry, folks in California. I'm busy right now.
But, hey, enjoy that little burst of live radio.
Well, it's one of those things that everyone gets to get a hold of me, and I get that. I know I got but can you wait till 10 a.m., please?
Right.
Let me get off the air. I'm trying to do a show.
It did, however, like trigger in my head, and I don't know why this triggered that. But do you remember how? And I'm keeping this above board, trust me. But do you remember how in the 80s and like it really took off in like the early 90s? Everybody had a 900 line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not talking about like the dirty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Easter Bunny had a 900 line. Santa had a 900 line.
Mm-hmm. I remember those.
You could call and get the one that I always used
Like
to
a
love.
bedtime story.
Right,
or,
bedtime
yeah.
stories, or WCW, because I used to watch, the old school WCW wrestling. They had a hotline where you could call every day, and Mean Gene would run down the day's, wrestling news. But it was all like the insider stuff, like somebody's gonna be, somebody just signed a contract, and this person could be traded to NJPW.
This is really before internet took off.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That's sort of what the 900 lines are. Is like a rudimentary internet of yesteryear, but we had to pay $1.99 a minute, and kids get your parents' permission.
Yeah.
It was a weird time, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I never fell prey to those.
I was never. The only time I was ever tempted was the WCW line. Well, okay,
Yeah.
let me rephrase that. The only time I was ever tempted above board was the WCW line.
Right.
It was always either scantily clad women or sweaty men. But hey, I knew my wheelhouse. All right, that's the point.
Wait. I know what I like.
When you find yourself, when you find your sweet spot, you tend to swim in it.
I understand.
So,
all right.
But yes, head to mchire.com if you are looking for work, because Nick is always looking to hire, and they promote from within.
I don't know if he got the message, but Brian Luck is here.
Yes,
I don't know if
I believe there's.
Is he here? I just got a text saying he's here.
So what we need is a window here.
Yeah, I can't see. Which
here we go. Well, make yourself known. Come on in, sir.
Everybody and your uncle wanted to be on the phone with
This
me.
whole morning show's falling off the rails. Come on in.
I'm a radio host doing a radio show right now.
Right.
And the people know this.
Folks, he's a radio host doing his radio most, okay?
It'd be weird if it was people that didn't know this and they're just calling me to ask me about my extended warranty on my car.
Right.
But these are people that know for a living I do this. I'm on the air.
Interested in joining the Columbia Record Club? How is that still a thing?
Right. Yes, I will tape a penny to that.
Honestly,
piece of paper.
Just for the nostalgia factor, yes, I will.
Yep.
That seems like a better deal than coasters.
Yep. See, that's why we need to go back to that. We got all these pennies that no one wants. They're sitting in jars.
Boom.
Let's start taping them back to Columbia Record House things to send back to get 20 CDs.
With nothing more to buy ever.
Exactly.
Loved it.
Except for you have to buy a CD in the next 20 years.
You know what's weird was everybody was doing Columbia. I always did BMG. Like I was the weird
I gotta be
one.
honest, I think I had both at one point. I was a little crackhead for a minute there with the music things, and because it was when I was in the Air Force, and I was just like, one day I decided I want to build up my music collection in CDs.
Right.
So I joined like BMG and Columbia House. And next thing you know, I got like 30 CDs that showed up because you got to pick like 5 each or something at the free one. And so, yeah.
The cool part for me was BMG because it had the little like the perforated stamps. You could like tear off which ones you wanted. And so that was fun for a kid who liked to, touch stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents didn't like that too much, but I was like, but Mom, there's nothing more to buy ever. She's like, yes, there is. That's not what the paper says.
Yeah, I know the deal.
And hey, I was nearsighted, so fine print wasn't a thing. I was just like, those are squiggly lines, Mom. That's not real.
That's just pictures.
That's just there.
But yeah, to be honest, I'd go back to that if CDs were a thing. Like
Honestly,
if there's a new form, non-digital form of getting away with music that would be popular again, I'd sign back up for it.
And we've had this conversation before, but I would go back if for no other reason than the amazing compilation albums. I mean, everybody.
Now that's what I call Music 52.
Everybody remembers the first song from Jock Jams. Everybody remembers everybody had that one friend that had Monster Ballads. Some people had 2. I personally had like 3 friends that had that album. But those
I owned Monster Ballads.
It was a great album. Those compilation albums were like the sweet spot of album.
You know what else I also owned? Pure Funk.
Oh. Oh, snap. I didn't know you
I was down with
that
the Pure
one.
Funk.
All
Yeah.
right.
I liked George Clinton and I kind of have a hint of like if I'm not listening to Metallica, I kind of dig some funk. I love that. I love that whole bass riff and everything. That's a sweet. I love that style of music.
A good slap style.
Yeah. Cameo. I used to Word Up. I love those songs.
I've got a show for you. Sunday morning or Sunday afternoons on our sister station, Fierro 106.1. That's Fierro 106.1. We have a show called The Old School Drive from 1 to 5 with Big Nate. Tune in as he cruises with you on a Sunday afternoon through all the hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
I like the fact that she's a brick house, too. Yeah, I love that.
She is mighty, mighty.
I like those songs. Those songs make me happy.
You tell me the last time that you were mad when she let it all hang out.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, those songs make me happy. So,
I'm
a weirdo.
In public, it's frowned upon. I'll give you that.
I know, I'm a weirdo. People are like, this guy listens to Metallica and likes funk music. That's me. Yeah.
Inner Sandman and a little Teddy P.
I'm a Gen Xer. That's how I roll. It is 9:16.
Leave it at
that. We like it all or hate it all. That's what we do. It is 9:16. Let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some snow showers will be possible this morning, but sunshine comes back this afternoon as low pressure clears out of our area. Pretty cool and breezy today. Our afternoon high only around 40. Clear and cold overnight. We'll drop into the upper teens and then a lot nicer over the weekend. Low 60s and sunny for Saturday. We're back to the low 70s and fair Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, let me get my weather. Did I refresh it? I don't think I did. No, I did not. Bad me. Let me refresh it. All right, there we go. Currently 27 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 75%. Winds are blowing out of the north at 17 miles per hour. We do have the winter weather advisory in effect through 11 o'clock this morning. They say the snow that we're seeing right now should be tapering off around noon. High of only 38 today, so we're not going to warm up much. But winds will be out of the north 10 to 15 miles per hour. They're saying after all said and done, we might get an inch. And I'm not even sure. Is it about an inch now or is it dusty still? Kind of a dusting out there.
About
About okay, so we're about done, folks, with the snow. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 16, so a little chilly one overnight. Northeast winds at around 5 miles per hour, and then back to spring-like temperatures tomorrow. Sunny, 63. South winds 5 to 10 in the morning, 10 to 15 for the afternoon. Clear skies tomorrow night. Overnight low of 24 with southwest winds 5 to 15. Sunday, we're going to be in the mid-70s. Sunny, 74. South winds 5 to 10 early, 10 to 15 for later in the day. And then next week, sunny, 68 Monday, 77 and sunny on Tuesday, 83 and sunny on Wednesday, and sunny, well, there is a 20% chance of showers Thursday with highs around 70. So we'll see how that shapes up. All right, it is 9:18. We got a 2.5-minute commercial break to take care of, so we're going to do that right now. And then Superintendent Brian Luck will join us here, and we'll talk all about the last school board meeting and other things happening around the RSD. I think there are a lot of people happy because they're getting their it's Friday, and then they got spring break next week. So a lot of joy in the schools this morning. So we'll talk all that next. Don't go away.
Get smoking hot deals during the sizzling savings event at Roswell Nissan. Like a 2015 Ford F-150 for just $307 a month, or a 2010 Honda Odyssey for just $149 a month. And join Roswell Nissan March 26th from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kiddos, and your chance to win a Masterbuilt 30-inch electric smoker. 1 entry for stopping by, 3 entries with a test drive or service, and 5 entries with a purchase. Drawing March 26th at 1, must be present to win. Get a Home Depot gift card with a test drive and a portable grill and a chance at the cash grab just for stopping by. On now at Roswell Nissan. 2111 West 2nd.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Procrastinators Club of America newsletter is called Last Month's Newsletter. Their first newsletter should be released any day now. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning, Superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, Brian Luck, back with us. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
How are you doing? Happy Friday.
Yes, sir. Happy spring break Friday with a quarter of an inch of snow on the ground.
That's right. Well, and that's what I think I said something this morning. I was like, it's okay, kids. You're going to be off all next week.
That's right.
You can suck it up for one more day, get through today. It's Friday.
Yes.
I'm sure this is for folks that don't have tests and things to take care of. Today's usually probably a little bit, especially elementary stuff. They probably do a little less on days like this than days, than they would normally.
Well, you just kind of have like the perfect storm. I mean, one, it's a Friday. Two, the weather's changed, and it's spring break. I mean,
sure.
Those kids, I'm sure, are very calm in those classrooms right now.
They're very cooperative and calm, and not anxiously excited to get through today, and not showing that. But So
my mom always used to tell me that she could tell when the weather was going to change because of the way the kids would act. And
give them less sugar today. They don't need it.
No. I think you're good there today.
Yeah. Well, Brian always joins us here, during the school board meeting, which they met earlier this week, and so we're going to talk highlights and everything from that. But before we do, anything district-wide we want to let know of? I know there was, for folks, sports got a little moved around today. I think most people involved know that. If you're hoping to watch some baseball this morning online or out at the, you're probably crazy if you want to sit in those bleachers this morning and watch baseball, but you do you. Those got pushed later today. Tonight, we'll see some of those games there this morning. We'll have them on the radio. They're going to be out at the ballparks this evening. Unless some weird thing happens with this weather, but it looks like we'll be good to go for this afternoon.
Kind of looks like it. I haven't heard anything yet, but you've got Goddard this afternoon. The game was supposed to start at 1 o'clock. I think it's still on for 1 o'clock.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything any different.
But monitor closely as they might have to make a game time decision on whether to push it back or whatever.
Ironically, I think we were prepared for the cold. The moisture might get us. If we could get some sun coming out here pretty quick, I think we'll be okay. But because that field's pretty dry.
Yeah.
So I think it could take it.
Good. Okay. Yeah, and baseball and softball are used to playing in the wind. That's what they do every year. So
it is
not the snow in the wind, but in the wind.
Well, and some of that too. Like the track meet last night. I mean, the people that go to those events and have gone to them for a while, they plan ahead and they've got multiple sets of clothes. And
if you're a spring sport,
yes, sir,
you got to be prepared for the wind. That's the nature of the beast,
yeah, and it is the labor of love when you look up there and you see the parents in the stands watching that. So
absolutely, and that's why you're thankfully starting to see a lot of more turfs go with like the fake fields and so. Which is good for dust when it comes in the wind and it doesn't blow that much around so much. So that's kind of a blessing in disguise.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But anyway, if you're involved with some sports the next day or here, check, stay close to your teams. The odds are pretty good that things are moving around or things are going to get kind of last minute or crunching on folks here for to deal with some of this stuff. So just be prepared. That's all. It might come down the pike here. So.
Sure.
But as far as school board the other night, how was it pretty busy meeting, or is it relatively slow compared to meetings in the past? Or?
Well, I tell you what, we've had a couple meetings. The last month and then this month's meeting have been a little lengthy, and not for the fact that we were conducting monster business. Is just we had a couple of really major projects that we were trying to get unfolded and get unloaded to our new board members, and so this last one was a pretty big project on dual credit and CTE and career pathways.
Okay.
And our instruction department has done a really good job with kind of making this the year that we do this. So I've been in at the high school level 25 years, give or take, and I've been hearing for 23 of those years, well, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do, and we finally have done it.
Right.
And we've got the plan in place. We've got the people in place, and presented that to the board the other night and had a ton of industry partners. So here in a minute, I would love to publicly thank them. But,
absolutely.
Just kind of got a chance to unroll that and then just conducted some regular business after that.
Good deal. Yeah, because that's the amazing, because that requires a lot of partnerships for the dual credit and those kind of things, because in essence, you're asking other education, other partnering entities to kind of line up with the way you guys do things, and vice versa. And so, when you look at the college and how college does things, and you look at the second or high school and so forth, those educations, they're not always the same, or they don't always. And with these dual credit and stuff, it kind of makes it to where now these are seamlessly transferred.
Right.
So it's really a great way to get everybody on the same page. And so at the end of the day, it's going to be more beneficial for our student staff, because when people transfer or people just pursue things, they're actually doing more that points directly at that earlier in their schooling careers, and that's a good thing.
Well, and it's interesting because and again, we've been working on this for a little more in depth for probably about the last 8 years, and one of the early concerns was, well, you're you're identifying my student, my kiddo, early on in their educational career, and you're pocketing them into a particular place, and then they're forced to go do that. And that is totally not the answer whatsoever.
Sure.
What we try to do is early on is identify areas of interest, and then like in their 9th grade year, they can kind of experiment with different subjects or different classes to try to figure out what would hang on to them.
Yeah, it's not them committing down a path.
No, no.
It's them exploring other paths to find ones that they're hopefully giving them an opportunity to find their niche.
Right.
So when they are seniors and when they are at that point where it's time to graduate, they've got A, some credits under their belt, but B, have a clear direction on where they want to go. And so maybe that college degree they're pursuing is going to be, there's a greater chance they're going to like what they're doing when they get that degree, as opposed to saying, I just spent 4 years of college. Turns out I hate this career field,
Oh, I have heard more stories of parents coming back with kiddos from school that said, they did the first 3 years with the, declared major, and they get to, the meat and potatoes of that degree plan, and they don't like it. Or heaven forbid, you've got kids that have graduated, or adults that have graduated, and they're like, I don't like this. This is not what I'm after.
And now they get more time to kind of investigate that a little bit and see if it's something they like.
It's a safety net, because you can do that while you're at the house. You've got your parents you can knock ideas off of. You've got the kids that start with the dual credit, and they're taking college classes their junior, senior year, and their parents are still there, so that that when you get to college and you kind of
they're better prepared to be college students.
Exactly. You go a little crazy. Well, you know what? You've already done 12 hours, 16 hours worth of your basics, and that's at the 2 larger high schools. So early college high school is set up in such a really, really crazy, neat way that those kids walk out with an associate's, and I know several of those kids walk out with 2 associates. But like our 2 larger high schools, your Goddard, your Roswell, you have the opportunity to try something or to maybe not have a particular area that you want to go, but we're going to get you lined up with some of your basics. Your English 1-2 at the college, your college algebra, and then maybe a statistics or something like that, so that when you get wherever you're going, you got something under your belt.
I'm curious, just while we're talking about this, like I remember when I was in high school as a kid, and this is back in Maryland, that they used to make us take a test, and it was this whole like skills assessment test, and at the end of the day, you take the test, and they say you'd be a good farmer, or you'd be a good. I'm sure that's antiquated, and they don't do it that way anymore. But I almost kind of feel like this is the more modern, efficient version of that a little bit.
A little bit, and that we're actually going to start working with that earlier. So as we have your 7th graders, your 8th graders. And some pre-counseling that goes on with that, where you do just interest inventories, and if they'll take it serious, the results that they'll get back will be beneficial to them and to their parents, and then from that, then you can start looking at stuff. So, being in the high school for all the years that I have been, no high school kid wants to stick around their hometown. They're going to go anywhere but here.
They will spread their wings.
And that's fine. And we encourage them to do whatever they're looking for to be able to do. But the reality is a lot of them stay here.
Sure.
And
they go and spread their wings and realize the grass isn't so green over there, and they come
and their
back.
families are here. And you know what? It dawns on them, about 18, 19 and a half.
Your support system's here.
Yeah, my family is really important to me, and they knew what they were talking about all along. So part of the other part to that is we want to be able to bring... We want to produce a product that Roswell can take and utilize.
Sure.
And so when we started talking with our industry partners and our business, leaders, they were like, we're desperate. We need people now.
Yeah.
And whatever we can do to help, they're willing to do, and they've lined up at the door to help us.
Absolutely. And I think it like you were just saying earlier about people want to spread wings and things like that. And obviously you look at, say, our ENMUR here, which you guys partner with a lot of stuff and working with. But, they're kind of their job, their stamp is to really provide qualified people to service our community. That's part of their game plan, part of their mantra, part of what they do. And so this really feeds it, because now you're seeing high school kids, and they're saying in high school and early, and they're like, you know what? I could go into the nursing program through here, and next thing you know, I'm making a great career right here in town.
Right.
And so they're learning about that stuff at the high school level
right.
and understanding it. So it is a farm system in a way, but it's also for good for our community as well as our youth. And so whether they take this stuff and say, you know what, I met the girl of my dreams or wherever, and or the guy of my dreams, and we settle in Texas or wherever it is. Life happens. I get
Right.
all that.
Oh, yeah.
But like you said, you're right. If they're going through here and they're saying, you know what, I could go get my A&P licensing. Next thing you know, I'm working at the Air Center down here, and all that's because I learned about that stuff through dual credit in high school, and now they've got their game plan in. So by the time they're ready to graduate high school, they're fully into that program, and they can go seamlessly into the nursing program or some of these other specialty programs the college has there. And every one of those people, when they complete that program, are getting jobs lined up, boom, right here in town. Some before they even graduate, they got jobs lined up.
Well, and yes. So, I mean, everything you just said, yes.
All of that creates that, and that's what we're talking about.
And again, you tie that with the fact that maybe not everybody has some of the resources. I mean, resources aren't necessarily equal within each household. And we're going to pick up the fee for that. So our dual credit classes, we're paying for your kiddos' college algebra class, or we're paying for their welding class at the college. And that's just, you can't
forgot
beat
about that part. It's free college.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, it's giving your student such a leg up on whatever they want to do, but at the same time doesn't lock them into that either.
No,
and so they're still in high school, they're still young, and skill sets translate. Maybe they were doing all this air conditioning stuff as it turned out. I don't like this work,
right?
But you know what? I love working with my hands, and now they're carpenters, or now they're something else. But that's not wasted time. That's them learning the skills and learning, and then even if it's a physical trade type stuff. Right. That's something you're going to use your whole life, whether it's to feed your family or to just take care of your own personal needs. That's going to be skills that go with you the rest of your life.
Well, it does tie a perfect storm together, because I know there's people out there right now that are listening to this and they're saying, see, I've told you guys for years, they need a school for these kids to learn. And yes, we're going to teach our kids this, but the end result for us is I want to tie them with a useful skill to graduation.
Sure.
Because that education is something that nobody can ever take away from them.
Absolutely.
Life can change lots of things, and jobs can come and go, but that education is something no one can ever take
that
from you.
That piece of paper is your foot in the door, because it tells people that you can complete something. At the end of the day, when they see you are a college graduate or a high school graduate, that's telling a business or someone that this person has the maturity and the dedication to see a task from the beginning to the end. If nothing else, that's what that diploma tells person about you.
Well, in the thought here is if we can find something that encourages a student to come to school, a class, a subject, something that they like, they will be more willing to try to gut it out in some of the things that they may not like. Mm-hmm. And if we can front load early the classes that they have identified as these are the careers I like, then we work with them on the other. It's not, hey, we don't alter standards, we don't do anything like that.
Sure.
But there is a mechanism that we've shown them what the value is. So, like for instance, we have Fulkerson Plumbing and Roads Construction, and they have graciously offered up people. So we actually have employees from their industry, their business, that go over and they teach our kids.
That's amazing.
And
love that.
And we're in the beginning stages of that.
And sure, and it's great for our community, but also these businesses see the importance of this, because at the end of the day, this is them, getting their basically building their qualified skilled
they're
people
recruiting.
too. Yeah, this is them
they're
looking.
Recruiting.
And so it's really a great thing. It really is to have. And to me, I think that's how we keep kids in school. We talk about dropout rates and things. It's because these kids are dropping out because they think there's a better opportunity somewhere else. At the end of the day, that's what it is. Right. I don't care. The minutia of I'm mad at parents or whatever it is. Yeah. At the end of the day, they think they're getting a better opportunity by leaving school now.
Right.
And I think these kind of programs change that mindset. They're saying, no. Okay, you're in school now, and we're now not going to be rocket scientists. We're all, not everyone's going to go on and be the person that invents the big chemical thing that we need in our life or whatever it is. But all of us are going to play a role in making this future great, whether it's making sure that people in our neighborhood have all the power they need or have all the amenities they need. That's That's where this is all about, and this is that partnership we're talking about here.
Well, I'd like to go through some of these real quick, just to kind of give you the. I mean, our boardroom was full. It was kind of intimidating because you're looking out, going, "Oh my gosh, what are we doing tonight?"
It's all the business community
and then it's all the business guys. I'm like, oh, "Okay, we're good. We're good." It's the business guys. So you've got, like I said, we've got Trent Bates with Roads Construction, Braxton Fulkerson HVAC and Plumbing, Bull Johnson with Cavu, your air industry. Robert Sherman Walker Aviation Museum, Warren Yale Eastern New Mexico Medical Center, Dorothy Helms with Burrow University, and a lot of people don't know, we have a medical school in Las Cruces, and they have their kids rotate through our area.
Oh, cool.
And so that group has come in, they've done hands-on activities.
So they need to like outreach with it and come out and visit our students.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
It has been really neat. Mike Espiritu with Chaves County Economic Development. I know Mike's coming through here with you guys, but if
Mike's plugged into everything.
If you don't know, if you'll stand next to him long enough, you'll get excited about something.
He's a good guy to know.
Oh, man. I tell you what, Steve Starkey with Eastern Roswell, Kay Myers and their Gear Up team again out at Eastern, and then We've got some other agencies with TRIO, which is they come in and they work with our kids, they counsel, they've taken them on field trips. I mean, if you've got a need, these people can help you, and that would be Danny Herrera, Daniela Garcia, Heidi Weeks, Rosie Rand, and Paula Perez with TRIO and the TRIO team and Talent Search. It is just. It was so, and I've said this at lots of the board meetings, and everybody just kind of looks at me like it's cliche-ish. Our timing is so right to take a chance on something. And I feel really strongly about this one because it's successful. We have been to conferences where we've seen other districts that have done things like this. I was at one in San Antonio where I saw a school district that they actually owned a subdivision.
Wow.
The district owned a subdivision
for their incoming teachers and things. They need a place to live.
Ironically, they would sell houses to the people, but the kids would build the houses.
Oh wow! What a cool idea.
The industry would come in. They would partner with the district. They would help them build. They would use their licenses. They would get things done, and then they had worked it up to the point where
what a novel concept.
They had money in the bank, and the businesses were lining up because what would happen is every year when those kids would graduate, there was 45, 50 kids that were ready to step into their industry, and not be apprentice. I mean, they were ready to actually be on their own because they'd already done the work.
Yeah, they're fully educated and trained to do what they got to do. That's amazing. I love that concept.
Oh, I tell you what, if anybody would like to donate a subdivision, we would be more than
you know what?
We'd be willing to live with that.
Business community leaders that we could easily, or I think we could put something together like at least something in that line. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but
so like when you talk about like large ideas or pie in the sky kind of a thing, that ultimately would be some of the things we're chasing is just, and I'm not saying we're chasing a subdivision, but things like that where you've got kids in your community that aren't walking out of your schools without a way to contribute back to your community.
We all live in this community here, and we all, you hear the old cliche, "It takes a village," and I think that's one of those proof of it takes a village type things. It requires those partner entities. It's not the Roswell Independent School District has been charged with the task of educating our children here in Roswell, New Mexico. However, they cannot do it by themselves without parental support, without family support, without businesses and communities contributing to the education of our kids through programs like this or through partnerships like we're talking about here, or creating dual credit situations. All of that works in that because there's no way the RASD by themselves could make sure every point that we're trying to get into our children gets there. It takes our colleges, it takes our businesses, it takes our churches, it takes our families to do all of that. And this is really evidence of what that can be when we do work together.
Right. And I'll say this too is as the last 3 weeks and the next 5 weeks, give or take, as our schools are getting ready to schedule things, and you've got students or grandkids or something like that, ask them about it. Say, hey, you know what, I heard something on the radio the other day, and tell me what you're thinking. Because that's part of it is you know your kiddos, and you've watched them grow up. You know the things they like. You know the things they don't like. You've watched them morph into the humans that they are.
Right.
And you really are their best advocate. You know, you're the best advocate for them, even with them.
Sure.
You know, get involved with that.
Yeah.
And if they have questions about it, contact their high schools. Not so much the middle schools right now, but more the high schools is the area that we're really looking to push on.
Well, it's one of those things, and you know, we're talking about careers, and so yeah. But once it's succeeding in the high school and we're seeing it there, then you're like, all right, well, let's start them younger, and we'll start introducing some of this into the middle schools, and who knows, maybe in the elementary schools someday. They're you know, when they're got to at least get their beaks wet about possibilities and career fields and things like that.
Well, and the buzzword with that is pathways. So as you walk in as a ninth grader, you have an opportunity to look at a pathway, i.e. a degree plan. You know, for those of us over, you know, 30, a degree plan.
Well, it's like when you're kids and you're like, you know, and boys, it's always like, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a police officer. You know, women, I want to be a teacher is a very popular one when you're young and things. And now, you know, these are the types of things like, awesome. Here's, you know, obviously you're not telling a first or second grader the path to becoming a teacher, but you're also kind of saying, you're giving them the path without being but doing it at a level they understand. It's like, oh, you want to be a teacher? Well, you're going to have to study this stuff and start looking there. You want to be a firefighter? All right, we make sure you be physically, well, you know, study hard in school, but make sure you're physically fit so you can handle some of that stuff. And so, you know, that's the kind of stuff you can plant the seeds with, you know.
Well, and now I want to be an influencer. I want to be a gamer. I want, you know. So you're fighting some of that, but it's interesting you say the firefighter, because one of the down the road kind of deals is as soon as we can get some of the logistics worked out. One of them is a pathway where the kids will walk out the door with, you know, a little bit of an EMT basic.
Okay.
Where they could
first responder type
where they
stuff,
could step in and actually, you know, when they hit the right age, they could actually walk over to the Roswell Fire Department and apply.
Go to their academy and do all they got to do
with credentials that you would get in the academy. So I mean, and again, it just makes you more marketable. It and then, you know, if you start rolling that kind of stuff out, it only makes your community better when you have people like that in there.
Absolutely, especially when you've got industries that are almost and first response first comes to think of that's like a tradition family type industry. And what I mean by that is many of the folks that are cops or firefighters or first respond or EMT or whatever. My mom or my dad was a cop or a firefighter.
Multi-generational.
Yeah, that's very common in that. Right. So I think, you know, that's part of that too. I love that. I love the fact that we're making this is more attempts at making the theories and the things you learn in school and gives these kids a practical reason why they need to know this at that age.
Yes, sir.
I think that when we grew up going through school, I think there's some of the disconnects there, and why, you know, now we're so hard in STEM and that side of thing. I think when we were in school, I think that disconnect was there because they're all teaching us the formulas and teaching us why these math, but they don't give us why we need to know this.
Right.
And so we're sitting in there going, why am I sitting in this calculus class? Because I'm never going to do any of this stuff here. And now we show career-related stuff, and it's like, yes, you're going to need calculus. Here's why. Or you know what, trigonometry is important. Here's why. And I think if we get more into the here's why, then the kids and stuff are gonna be and see why it's, you know, they're gonna be more involved rather than they're gonna get glassy eyed and be like, I don't care about this. I'm never gonna use it. I'm moving on to something that I'm gonna use.
Well, you have several schools in this area, Lake Arthur, several schools. I think Goddard's got a couple teams that'll go down by JAL here in another month or so, and they'll actually launch rockets that go high enough that they actually have to map off the airspace. So I mean, it's a no-fly zone in that area because these rockets go that high.
Yeah.
And the high school kids are the ones that are building them. And, it's like I said, it's no pun intended, but the sky really is the limit with that. Again, great work by really all the team there at the school district.
I'm glad to hear it.
Because it's got to be, you have to have the right teachers in place, so that involves human resources. You got to have the money, so that's money people, and then the instructional component, and it will be really, really neat and a humongous feather in everybody's hat once we get this pushed through and start to see the results.
And like you said, and none of this would happen without those business partnerships and connections.
Thank you.
So, you're investing well into our futures by doing that.
Absolutely.
We do appreciate that. So, is there any other highlights from the meeting last night that we got just wrapped up in this other thing we didn't get a chance to share?
No, we had a couple presentations about some of the other work that we're doing and just some general stuff. I'm trying to look through here real quick.
Oh, by the way, Tanner just texted me. I'm guessing he got word. It looks like, am I looking at the right one here? Sorry, I think
Tanner has a new schedule for us.
Looks like today's games were canceled for the Goddard tournament.
Okay.
Looks like that's official now. So just Tanner was just telling me he's probably plugged in way more than I am on that stuff. So
well, and I can see that. I mean, like I said, there probably looks like it's just enough moisture that it's not going to get dried up. So.
Does that come from Britt Cooper, who makes
it's
universal on those decisions, or does
Yeah.
that come down to coaches and stuff?
A little bit with coaches and umpires, and I mean the coaches are the ones that are going to prep the field. So if we can't get the field right and the umpires deem it not safe, we won't do it.
Gotcha. I didn't know if it was a call that comes from the AD or comes from the boots on the ground, so to speak.
A little bit of everybody.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think everybody collaborates with that.
Okay.
Just real quick, our Mountain View water line is progressing. I want to thank the work with the city and the contractor there that's working on that. Mesa Construction is moving right along. I mean, I am super excited to see the results of that. We're in the still processing the design phase for Nancy Lopez. Let me rephrase that again. We have not decided anything on that. There's nothing in stone. We're still seeking public comment, but getting closer and closer to pushing that.
You kind of got to get an idea. It's closer
at some point, right?
But we're still trying to dot the I's and cross the T's.
That's right. That's right. The other two big ones for me really would be at one point in time we were looking at what we were calling asynchronous Mondays, and we have suspended that. We're not doing that anymore. We're not. So if parents have days on their calendars, they're like, well, this was a Monday that they said they weren't doing it.
Yeah, nobody liked it, so
it just didn't. It didn't grow legs, and I'm not gonna push something through that I don't feel is productive.
Everyone's fighting you on it. Maybe we shouldn't do it.
There was some positive to it, but I think the negative outweighed the positive.
Sure.
And
Well, but that's part of what you guys do, and we're in COVID, so you're just, hey, let's try something, see if it works. This one didn't work, so let's move on. Yeah.
Next, and I think going forward, I did get a ton of good ideas that could come out of that. But,
good. Okay.
But that is something that I just want to make sure that if you've got that marked on your calendars, get that off.
You can ignore it. We're just in school.
We've hit spring break. That's coming up, and then the last thing that I really want to say thank you to is our security guards and our admin. That we lived through indoor COVID mask requirements, and we had the public come in and out, and they were the front lines. I mean, they took a ton of abuse that really wasn't warranted to them, and I want we've said thank you, but I can't say thank you enough because I had people that I've known most of my life that would come up and they're just they're defeated, and it was. Brian, all we're trying to do is our job.
Absolutely.
And I complimented him on it. And
you have a bunch of passionate people, which the RSD is full of. People that are passionate for these kids, passionate for their jobs, and parents that are equally passionate about their kids and their families. And anytime there's that much passion on board,
right.
Tempers rise, emotions can happen, and the adults in the room sometimes, when our security and those folks have to do that, we can never thank them enough for that kind of stuff.
Well, and I mean, not to frame it all as just negative. I mean, we had several people that were like, I'm doing this for you guys, and thank them too, thank the community. But as we transition to outdoor spring sports, if we could all remember and take about 3 deep breaths and let's start our anxiety levels down at zero again, because our umpires, a lot of our umpires are the same people that have done soccer and they've done softball and they've done other things. And,
absolutely.
And they deserve.
They're out there because they care about the kids and they care about the sport.
So cut them a little slack if we could, and we'll finish up the year. I'm excited about getting this done.
Absolutely, yeah. And by the way, if you're not liking what you're seeing and would love to volunteer over there, they'd love to hear from you. Yeah. And they can use more umpires, referees, officials, every sport, you name it, they need more of them. So please, if you don't like it, you think you can do better, let's get you a whistle and some credentials and get you out there and get you going. So.
Oh, and they'll take you in. The neat thing about the local associations, and I have no idea how I got into this one, but is they train. I mean, they really do. It's a neat group of individuals, men and women. They do take it serious.
Absolutely.
And they they want to put a good product out, and I can assure you, because like I said, I joined the basketball one a couple of years ago. I didn't get to do it this year, but it's not all everybody thinks it is.
Right.
I'll say that, but thank you to those people that have helped, and thank you to the fans that have come through and have lived through this, and
keep supporting the kids, keep supporting
keep
the
it
programs.
going, and thank you for the sponsors that have stepped up and helped out. So
absolutely, and
much appreciated.
And then good luck to all the athletes here in the spring sports as they go. And here in about a month or so, we're going to be talking about playoffs all over again here, and
graduation
and everything else. Yeah, it's all right around the corner.
Then next year.
It's all downhill after spring break, it seems like, right? It just I mean, it goes by quick anyway, but it seems like once spring break is over, it just seems like you can't keep up with everything. I just always that from spring break till graduation, it feels like it's just fast and furious, you know?
Yeah, I coached basketball, and so that was always my judge. Is when basketball was over, it just was such a blur, which is now.
Yeah.
I mean, you got state tournament going on this
wrapping
weekend.
up. Yeah,
got cheer and dance next weekend, so good luck to them.
Yeah,
up in Albuquerque, both schools got both squads going up, so good luck to them.
Yeah, they're going to be out performing and all that this weekend out there, so definitely. Of course, want to remind folks, you can always watch the school board meetings. They're open to the public. They're always that second Tuesday of the month.
Yes, sir.
At the RSD building, which is just a couple blocks over here off is that Pennsylvania or I never remember the streets.
The actual address, I think, is 300 North Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay, it's one of those.
But you come in the back, which is off of Lee.
Yeah,
so
exactly. It's right there in the district there. And of course, you can watch online as well. They put them up. If you go to the RSD's website. Just type RSD or Roswell Independent School District. It's like the R-K. It's a lot of dots. So rather than do all that, just go Google. There's no point trying to tell people that on the radio. It's like -K.12. No one remembers that. So just independent RSD or Roswell Med School District,
Roswell, New Mexico,
and you'll get the website there, and then you'll find the link to watch not only the meeting from earlier this week, but last couple of years worth of meetings there if you'd like to check them out. So, and of course, you can be at the meetings too in public.
Love to have you. Love to have you.
Excellent. Is there anything we missed? Did we get all?
I think I'm good. I really do. I positive. We had a lot. And again, like I said, that was a little bit of a longer meeting because of all of that.
But I love those business partners. I hope there's more and more of that down the pike here, because I think, to be honest, I think that's the linchpin to keep kids in school longer, to get them, because I think kids drop out because they feel like there's something better and they're ready to do it now. And I think programs like this remind them, it could be, but it's going to be so much better if you stick it out and finish it here.
Right.
Get the certificates to go with your knowledge, and now you're writing your own ticket. You know.
Well, and if you can walk out of Roswell High or Goddard High School with 16 college credit hours to your name, I mean, you're walking into a school, and maybe not. Maybe you get your certifications.
Yeah.
Maybe you get your safety certifications, and you're going to go over to apply for a job in the oil field as a welder.
Yeah.
I mean, it can only benefit you.
And obviously, if you graduate high school and you've got your associates under your belt, at that point, the beauty of it now, and if you stay in New Mexico to go to school, all that transfers seamlessly. So
Yes, sir.
if you're going to UNM or Portales or New Mexico State or New Mexico Tech or wherever you're going,
that's right.
All that seamlessly transfer. It's just like you pick up right where you left off, and they worked really hard last 5 years. I think about 4 or 5 years it's been going on now. They really worked hard to make that happen, and that's a game changer for a lot of students in trying to get their degree plans and not doing things that for the second time, or just to meet someone else's needs.
Right.
It's
and
a huge thing.
That's a huge credit to our college for advocating for the work that they're doing with additional universities. I mean, we've got Mr. Stark even brought up a student there. They're not that went to Kenyon to WT, and they took and he had listed an amount of hours. I don't want to screw it up, but everything.
That's great.
Basically everything that they had done at this college, and again, what a testimony to them that their reputation is speaking for itself, out in that community. So,
and I think the business partnership and incorporated at the high school level and all that, I think that's on the level of game changer. I think is equal.
Right.
I think what that's doing for helping with kids with college and transferring and all that, this could help keep kids in school, direct kids to paths that they really can see, goal-oriented things that they want for them, and by default, they're going to be more invested in their own education.
Oh, absolutely. And if you're a business right now, you're listening to this, and you're just like, I want a piece of this.
Yeah.
And we haven't contacted you, please get a hold of us. I mean, this isn't an exclusive club. We're taking any and all comers that want to help our kids.
This is a party we'd love to have more people at.
We'll make room.
That's right. Very good. Well, I, as always, appreciate the visit,
Yes,
Brian.
sir.
Cannot thank you enough for keeping us up to date and what you and all of your staff do for our kids in this community. We do appreciate you.
Well, look forward to our staff getting a much needed week off.
Yeah, that's right. Give them a break. Don't let them enjoy their week. And
I would tell you the same thing.
Yes. Oh, and I think I saw online that one of the board members, Hope Morales, had a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to Hope. I think it was. I saw that online there. So
yes, happy
you see her
birthday.
out and about. Wish her a happy birthday. Thanks, Brian.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, it is 9:58. Quick break before we're done. Don't go away.
When I'm ready for new furniture, I don't want to wait for it. I go to Glenn's Furniture, where everything is ready for immediate delivery. Beautiful power reclining furniture, gorgeous dining room sets and bedroom sets, and the world's most comfortable mattresses. Glenn's has the quality furniture I'm looking for at the best prices around, in stock and ready to go home. So don't wait around. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, delivering for free since 1953.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second upload and download speed. With Faster, get true 500 meg. And with Fastest, get 16 gigs of download and upload speeds. Learn more at plateaufiber.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Score a slam dunk during the March Mania savings event at Roswell Honda with a great lineup of vehicles you can't miss, like a 2018 Kia Optima for